in and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no. Stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
And good morning. It is a Friday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn. He's Griffin. Intern Jake is over there. And if it's a Friday, that means Stan the Fan Charles, our chief grand poobah here at Press Box, is in studio with us. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you guys, and this is Jake's last week.
Now, you prepared a montage of all of your favorite moments.
Jake moments?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. You put together...
No, but there's really good news with this being his last week.
And that
Next
is?
week I get to use the good headsets again.
Oh, that is... So you would actually prefer if we kicked them out today?
Well,
Like right now.
It sounds
I
like
mean,
it.
to be honest with you, if you'd never hired him,
You would have been
all
all right.
Yeah.
You would have been all right with that. That's okay. That's okay.
Jake's a good guy. Plays for Coach Canabeni.
He does. Yes,
Yep.
100%.
I understand he boasts that he can out-face off.
That was never said.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever said that.
That's a bold claim. Bold claim.
Coach, you got me any day of the week if you just heard that.
I hope.
You don't think so?
No.
I wish you well. I wish you well with all that. Coming up on the program today, we're going to catch up with Trevor May, former big league pitcher.
Love Trevor May.
And now he's a content man. We're going to get his thoughts on the Orioles, thoughts about baseball as well, a little bit later on in the program.
Any shot of a comeback?
I mean, you see how well it's going for Charlie Morton at the moment.
Everybody
knows?
was burying Charlie Morton.
He was dead. He was dead 4 starts ago. And then all of a sudden, everything's turned. But yeah, we'll talk to Trevor May. Also later on in the program, DaJuan Summers, Baltimore native. He's playing in the Big Three for the DMV Trilogy team. They're also trying to do the home city thing that the PLL is doing. Maybe somebody should mention that we don't really think that Baltimore's part of the DMV, but that's what they're doing. That's a thing. And
Enough
so
people think it is. So.
What's that?
Enough people think it is. So.
Yeah, a lot of people that don't live in Baltimore believe that Baltimore is in the DMV. But anyway, the moral of the story is
DMV is Delaware, Maryland, Virginia.
But it's just the D.C. suburbs of the three. The DMV is for how to explain
Is it
people
DC
in Chevy
or-
Chase feel a kinship to people in Springfield, Virginia.
Okay.
So we came up with a term to explain that.
I never really knew that. I always thought it just stood for those 3 states.
As you pointed out, you'd be really hard pressed.
They call it the parts of DMV.
Because you hear how clunky that is when you say it. Otherwise, you're suggesting that there's like a kinship between Hagerstown and Newport News.
Yeah,
like it's a.
Is there not? I mean,
I'm sure there's things that they have.
They probably both
I
grow
think,
grass.
I think it's a very poor term then.
Well, who do we want to talk about? Who do we? I mean, we can write the governor if you'd like. We can.
How about
You wanna address it
how
with-
about Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Let's believe it or not. Yes, the idea was to explain. It's sort of like the tri-state area, right? Like where
Right.
you're trying to explain how there's like a shared metropolitan area between multiple states.
What,
So we
wasn't
came
there
up-
a Seinfeld episode where Jason Alexander, his character, wanted credit for coming up with a word?
That does sound. Yeah. Well. Oh God.
But what's that?
Oh.
It's not Barrett's quotations. It's
Yeah. Hang on a second. Costanza wanted the credit.
it's like the usage.
For coming up with a word. Let's see if we can find the answer.
Yeah.
This is the important stuff.
Yeah, this is
we'll get to
forget
the
the
end. We'll get to the
Orioles
other stuff.
game.
The bro.
The
Remember
bro.
the male.
bro.
Yeah.
The bra.
The manseer. Yeah.
Right, the manseer.
100%.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
that's exactly what it was.
Right.
Well, good pull, Stan.
Yeah.
Good pull on your part.
But what was it? Was he wanted credit in?
Oh yeah, what did he wanted it recognized in?
Yeah,
Oh,
what was
damn
that? That was
Damn
that
it.
was the thing.
Damn it, we'll get to the bottom
All
of
right,
this. We'll
all
get to
right,
the bottom of
all
this. I
right.
promise. We will leave no stone unturned.
Do we have
in-
Trevor May one day?
Trevor May is coming on, and DaJuan Summers. I was trying to explain
Wow.
that. Baltimore
Wow.
native, played in the
There
NBA.
Should we say
Played
hi
at
to everyone on
Georgetown.
TikTok as well? We're
We're broadcasting
and we're
live on TikTok
yes.
today. We're mixing things up a little bit. We're trying to figure out where the best home for the program is. So we're still on YouTube, and now we're also on TikTok today. And we'll see. We'll continue to try to tinker with that and monitor it. But we've been intern Jake's done a nice job with our TikTok page since he's been here, and so we've been getting some it's very hit or miss, right? You can't understand the way that the algorithm. We are all. I think I heard Pablo Torre say this recently. Somebody asked Pablo Torre about why he did so much content about Bill Belichick's girlfriend, and Pablo Torre said, "I am just throwing things at the algorithm. I am just throwing anything I can."
Wasn't there danger though in going to TikTok? What if
Yeah,
our president
moment,
suddenly
president-
wakes up one
Yeah.
day and
It
just
could
No,
it
he's
could
saving
be gone.
it. He's saving it.
Yes, I know.
He's a hero.
He's saving it from whoever that was that decided to ban it.
Yeah.
Whoever that was. Could have been anyone. Whoever chose to ban it.
sounds
he's
like
now-
Barron came up with that idea.
Maybe.
That spin.
Might be the case. But yeah, we're working on that. We're trying to solve. But yes, good morning TikTok, and welcome to the program.
Hey TikTok, my watch.
Yeah.
My watch is a little slow. It's not TikTok.
I kind of said TikTok in a Trumpian way, right?
Yeah, you did.
And now we'll be on TikTok.
Hello to the TikTok.
That's what we're doing.
China.
So yes, that's what's coming up on the program today. Orioles get a win last night. So as we said about the night before, it was as significant as however it was followed up. And
Ace was on the mound.
the
so-
irony is, yes, you're as good as your next day's starting pitcher, and Charlie Morton was once again really, really good.
So wait a
did not
minute.
walk. Yes,
I
but yet
see
you see
Colton Cowser's, but
face.
where's
That is
Charlie
correct.
Morton's picture?
Charlie Morton's been up on the board. He's up there. So that was
Yeah, but
it had something to do with why it was that I went with Colton Cowser. Although I poked around and I did not get much pushback to this selection.
Well, you see what's going to happen now. He's going to get complacent, and he's not going to hit a home run tonight.
So you
Yeah.
Is that
I
what it
think,
is?
I think that's why he kept hitting home runs. He's
Just
like,
get up on the
Glenn's-
board?
Yeah, Glenn's like,
so we
oh,
just
I
kept
do- I
we
do
kept
see
preventing
Charlie.
him from
Yeah.
getting up on the board.
Yeah.
I do see.
Yeah,
Charlie.
it was a very difficult choice. Also, give credit to Sir Anthony Dominguez for cleaning up whoever made that mess.
Yeah.
Whoever. Speaking of
So
TikTok,
does he get a hit
Who-
off the
yeah,
the
right.
homer hose or
I-
the
that-
sorry the
that's a good
the
question. If you
jam-
make the mess yourself,
yeah.
do you then, in this world that we talked about with Brian Baker the other day, do you then? I had a good. Somebody made a suggestion that it was a fireman's hat for putting out the fire
Oh, okay.
that
not
the
bad.
reliever would get, and that's a good.
How about an
suggestion.
arsonist hat?
That's the problem. Like Sir Anthony Dominguez, right, last night was the arsonist, but then was also the firefighter
Right.
in one inning.
Didn't they have 3 straight relievers through, excluding? No, actually Baker did too.
100%.
5 straight balls. Dominguez walked the first guy
Right.
on 4 balls and then went 1-0.
Oh, and then the next.
then
and then
Soto
the next guy,
did
yeah,
the
that does
same
sound
thing.
Right. Yep.
And then Baker essentially walked Caminero, so it was 3 guys in a row.
It was looking so hairy with
Oh, God.
Brian Baker going in for it. God love him going in for a 3rd consecutive
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy. But hey, all's well that ends well.
Yeah.
The Orioles ultimately win 4-1. Couple of extra base hits, including the big blow, the 3-run homer for Colton Cowser.
I want to nominate Charlie Morton to be a co-man of the
We've never done it
match
before. We've never done it before.
because
Well, this is the biggest win. Of the
well,
year,
we're
so-
on
Yeah.
TikTok.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That-
You
what
gotta
do mean maybe
expand
consider
your-
changing things?
Because if Morton doesn't, suppose Morton,
Trust me, I'm
goes
aware
3
of
and
how
a third
Oh,
innings.
with no bullpen last night, they
No-
needed Charlie Morton.
yeah.
100%. So here's what I'll do for you, Stan. It won't be official, but where is Charlie Morton?
he's right up there.
Right there. Right
yeah.
there. No, that's not
Yeah.
him.
Yes.
Above the N.
Yeah. All right. That's what I
That's
thought.
Charlie Morton.
Who'd you think that was?
I don't know why I didn't think it was him.
3-star Charlie Morton.
I think all of a sudden, it's all he is man of the match.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move.
He would have been
Charlie
the
Morton.
he would have been the clubhouse leader if
That's
he
true.
gave it to
Nobody's got more than 3 for the season.
Good catch.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. I look like I could play outfield for Arkansas.
Right. So you're going to make them co-men of the
No,
match.
but I'm going to give him recognition.
All right.
There's only one man of the match, but I'll put him here too, right?
So is he get a half star?
No. He gets no star. It's just
Well, then he shouldn't be there.
He's got 3 stars.
he can be seen.
I mean, while I think Morton should be the full man of the match,
So do I.
This is
Yeah.
the thing.
So
you
do
can
I.
start your own man of the match. This is the good news here.
but if we're gonna be
Like,
using, if this is gonna
I
be
have-
the man of the match,
I have
award,
good news for you. Like when Griffin Bass Radio starts, and hey, it could
When
be
is
any
it?
day.
When is it starting?
That's
Is that why they're moving to TikTok?
company leadership might have to discuss
Yeah.
this. When Griffin Bass Radio begins, you can choose whoever the man of the match is. The bad news for you is you're on Glenn Clark Radio.
Yeah, that is
That's-
bad news. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
I know.
right.
Wow, he really
Hasn't-
told you.
Hasn't worked out.
How's that
so-
make you feel? You're on Glenn Clark Radio.
Yeah. This is the nice part about having the show.
The
I've
question
been
is,
able-
when it becomes Griffin Bass
Yes.
Radio, can he repurpose the music? Griffin Bass Radio.
That's going to be up to Chris.
Yeah.
You're going to have to talk to Chris Herich about that. You better hope you're not in a blood feud.
I've been able to compartmentalize long enough, so I guess
Oh yeah, you're gonna continue to
Put
this,
up with it.
This is gonna be the one that sets you. I would love it if
It's
this
close,
was the
it's
one.
close.
I would absolutely love if Griffin had gotten up and walked out.
What are we
over
doing?
this?
A mic
Yeah,
drop.
right?
A mic drop.
Like, this is
We're
you're
doing-
picking.
we're
You're
doing
picking
co-man.
Colton Cowser, who he loves, by the way, who's like his favorite baseball player.
Well, it's you know what? It's not. You can pick Colton Cowser as the man of the match, but I'm not gonna deal with this half man of the match thing. Like that's
I
where
didn't
I more
give
have an
anybody
issue.
half man of the match.
Well,
it's
well,
just
you're
board
putting his name,
recognition.
you're putting his face there, and
That's
that's
what it is.
Word
I don't really
recognition.
get
That's
the.
all it is.
You mean
All
you're
right.
I don't
bored?
get it.
You mean you're bored, so you're giving him some
Exactly- that's
recognition?
exactly
Board
what I mean.
recognition.
That's exactly
This whole
what
bit
I
made a
mean.
lot of sense until you started doing this. And
It's just to appease Stan. That's all that. Griffin, you ever had a grandfather? You ever-
Oh, we're going
yeah.
there.
You ever just try to do nice things for your grandfather because you just don't know how
Well,
much time he
sometimes-
has left?
well,
like you ever-
sometimes.
Oh, that's fun. That's funny.
Well, it's interesting though because
That's
Stan's right
funny.
though. So
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
so,
why-
So is what do you want to do? A wrestling match or something?
maybe
Is that
me
what
and
you
Stan
want this
versus
to
you,
come
and
to? Tag team.
you can take Jake, I guess.
I'd love to open up I'd love to open up a poll who the man of the match was.
Yeah.
That's not how we do
You know,
things here.
yeah.
It's not.
Well,
That's
I
not the way
mean,
we do
Yeah,
things.
you never
Hey,
did TikTok
Glenn
before.
Clark Radio,
it's
not
true.
a democracy.
It's a fact. I'm not going to debate that.
It's an
We're in fact an enemy of democracy.
it's an authoritarian.
It's exactly what it is. It's exactly the way it goes. All right. So yes, the Orioles get a much needed win last night, and still we all know what happened the night before. It sucked, but it was as significant. This is the nature of baseball. Baseball is that when something like that happens, it is as problematic as whatever you allow to follow it up with. And the
Yep.
Orioles did not allow it to be followed up.
That 8-0, the blowing of that lead now is just a.
It's a
just
game in
a loss.
162.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
It's a game. Like, could it be if you end up in a situation where you're up big in a game and a team starts to score a couple runs in the future? Could there be guys on this team that have sort of an oh no feeling? And that maybe, but the problem was going to be: does it snowball? Does it snowball? Does it derail? It didn't do those things.
No, we're getting Tyler O'Neill back soon.
That's a great point. Everything changes that moment. Everything.
He's going to go
changes.
berserk.
Is this the time?
All the criticism that Mike Elias got is all going to wash away.
All of a sudden,
now.
we're going to look up and we're going to say,
boy, he picked up Ramon
yeah,
Laureano,
Charlie Morton,
Dylan Carlson,
That's true.
Andrew Kittredge.
Gary Sanchez hit a couple of home runs.
Yeah.
Right. And like all of a sudden, we're gonna look up.
Genius.
And
Genius.
gonna say it's almost like that start didn't happen. It's almost,
like that. Yeah.
that wasn't the case.
Well, how about the
And
Yankees? 6 losses in a row.
the Yankees can't. Well, they did. They
win
scored
last night.
They
won-
scored
or
7
they won
yesterday.
Yeah, they did score yesterday, but before that, they couldn't score for about a week. Hopefully,
Were either of you up late watching any of the San Diego Dodger
so
game?
what?
Not live.
I saw that. I saw a couple things. I saw the immaculate inning that wasn't.
Right.
So
No, I'm talking about the
hit by pitch.
The hit by pitches.
it was it Tatis?
Tatis
Tatis got hit
Yes.
by Jack. What was his name? He was making
Nah.
Jack Little.
Little.
He was making his first major league appearance.
Oh, really? Okay.
And they thought the Padres took exception to the fact that he got hit on his hand.
That's a bold move. Debut, I'm just going to go ahead and throw at Tatis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I saw that Manny had something to say afterwards. Like, they better hope that the X-rays come back negative. Like, or
right,
or what?
right.
Like,
Well, there
what?
was then there was another angle that somebody pulled, and it was of like Mookie Betts and Tatis talking in the scuffle, and Mookie like patted him on the back to like see if he was okay, and he like shook his head or something. Then Mookie went, oh, like he gave like a really ugly face, like obviously if Tatis got hit, he knows he might have an idea of.
Well, it was about
how it
20
feels.
minutes after the game. I was watching it on MLB.com. The last, I just happened to turn on the ninth inning, and they did like about a half hour on the post-game show about this, and they waited to get Dave Roberts on, his press conference, and he was I thought he was, because he and Shield almost really went at it. I mean, they were really fiery toward one another.
That was the reason the bench is empty, is because
Yeah.
Schildt came out first, and then
Yeah.
or Schildt wasn't going to come
I
out.
think there
and then
was
I guess Roberts
I think there were 8 total hit by pitches
in the
series.
series because Ohtani got hit twice. Tatis
But
got hit
Ohtani
twice.
got hit.
No, Tatis got hit 3 times, I think, in the series.
Yeah, and Ohtani got hit twice.
The thing is,
But Dave Roberts explained to me, we're down 3-0. It's his major league debut. We're just trying to get him, acclimated to major leagues. You show me anybody that really thinks there's any intent there. This is a young pitcher, his major league debut. He goes now. Conversely, Ohtani was clearly thrown at. There was no question that Suarez
both times
threw him.
Ohtani got hit were intentional.
Very
Yes.
intentional.
I hate all of this. Like, it's my least favorite part of baseball is all of this nonsense, and
What's your favorite part of baseball?
the baseball, like the part where they
They play
where
baseball.
they play baseball. It's what a thought, right? Like, actually, my favorite part is the umpires.
Oh yeah,
I
they're pretty
love
good.
watching the umpires take away strike 3 right over the middle of the plate that would have given an immaculate inning to Yamamoto. Like, I
Yes.
love that. I'm there to see them. So that's my favorite part, Stan, is the umpiring. It's wonderful stuff. I hate all of that. I don't take anyone's side. I just hate it. I despise all of the bull s and the
You
overgrown
despise
mandate.
it.
I
You
really do.
despise
It makes me. It was one of those things where, like, even when you're right, I hate it. Like, even was it the Royals that got into the tussle with Manny at home all those years ago?
Yeah, was that
And
Giordano Ventura?
And
Was
it
that-
just like, I know that in that particular instance, Manny was probably in the right, but it's still, everybody going run. We all got to run out to the field. We all got to, it looks like a mating call of some sort. Like, it's, and it does nothing for me.
some people say it's the
nothing.
best part of baseball.
Yeah, that's I can't fathom who that's for. I can't fathom it. Who is that for? But apparently the Padres and Dodgers, I'm to understand, don't like each other. I am to understand there's some stuff between them. So I don't know. I wish them well. I don't know what to say about it. I did spend time obviously with the basketball last night.
How much time did you spend with them?
I got until the end of the third quarter. I still kept thinking there was a chance that
They'd make a
maybe
run.
the Thunder would have a run in them, that like they wouldn't just completely roll over. And
I didn't watch any of it. I taped it, but I never, because it was a blowout, I never went over to watch. How did Halliburton play?
he was great.
Yeah,
He was
Knocked
great.
down a couple threes early, like showed.
And
that
I
he
heard they
was-
pulled them after like the
Well,
first half because it was a blowout.
They were up by 30 points.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an ass kicking. I don't know that I really thought that the Thunder looked like a team that as soon as they fell behind was like, well, we got Game 7 at home.
Yeah.
That they just there was never any sense of urgency. There was never any sense of we really want to win this game. But we've seen so many crazy things in the playoffs that I couldn't turn away from it. I
Right.
couldn't just say like, well, I'll stop watching now, just because nutty things have happened. But every time they got like a couple of baskets and would get it down towards 10, and you were like, okay, maybe something's there, the Pacers would proceed to score like 7 straight points, and then that was that. And then obviously they ballooned it all the way up to 30, and you said, well,
Right.
I guess I won't be needing to watch this anymore. I guess that's just what it's going to be. And so there will be a Game 7 Sunday night in Oklahoma City, and
First Game 7 in 9 years.
was it Cleveland,
yeah.
Golden State?
Yeah, 2016.
Wow, man.
Or 7? Yeah, it was 16, I think.
That's crazy. Look, I think a lot of people believed, like, once the Thunder won Game 5 that, like, they were finally all right. We played around a little bit. We had our fun, but we're the better team. I still think they deserve to be favorites because they're at home, and so the home team deserves to be the favorites, but I still come back to this was a not minus 750 to start the series. I still come back to how absurd that was. For a team that had never won a title, for a group of players that had never been in this position before, they were minus 750 favorites to win the series. They might ultimately do it. Again, they should be favored at home in Game 7. But it was so bizarre to me where those numbers came from and why they were so distinct favorites in this series, despite the fact that, like, they'd never been there before. And I know that you can say, well, we looked at the analytics, and the analytics said they were a dramatically better team, right?
Did a lot of people bet them at that price?
The number didn't come down.
Jeez,
The number until literally after the Pacers won Game 1. And even then, after the Pacers won Game 1, the number only came down to like minus 550. Like, after they had dropped a home game.
Wow.
They were still heavy series favorites, which is wild to me. And again, if you told me right now.
What's the early spread on Sunday's game?
That's a good question.
6.5, I'm guessing.
What is it, Griffin?
Let's find out. I would. Well, every time they've been home, it's been like what 8.5, 9.5,
Yeah, it's been
10.5. So I don't know why it would change.
Does that
Yeah.
change just because it's Game 7? Like,
Maybe, but also Halliburton still probably isn't 100%. What there's NBA. 8 flat.
That's wild to me. That's wild. Like, there's just been. It's almost a bizarre level of disrespect towards the Pacers.
Siakam has passed Halliburton for Finals MVP.
MVP on there.
It's Shea still minus 240.
Yeah.
Siakam plus 350.
I mean, I get that. I do.
How do you bet TJ McConnell plus 11,000?
I mean, TJ McConnell's been huge. He really has been.
He's got the 5th best odds of anyone.
Like he really has been massive for the Pacers in forcing a Game 7. So we'll get that. And I know, Stan, you spent a lot of time with the soccer last night. That was very high on your list.
I love soccer,
Oh,
Stan.
God.
You said
That game was just off the charts.
What was your favorite?
Who was the ball?
the ball.
Yeah.
You really like the
The pitch.
You said
The
the
pitch.
officiating, the refereeing.
I like the
was
pitch.
always your favorite part. Not exactly an emphatic performance from the U.S. men against Saudi Arabia last night. They do end up getting a goal, and that held up. Chris Richards scores off a set piece in the second half, and they win 1-0. Again, it was very difficult because I was watching the Orioles and then my second screen. So then I'm trying to do like the phone to have the soccer match on the side last night so I can at least be aware of it. And I can't pretend like I was
I
paying.
ended up going 3 screens. Yeah, it was.
I was not paying considerable attention to the soccer match, in part because it was 0-0. It did seem like the U.S. had the better of play.
The first half was insane because it was like they had like 75% possession in the first half, but it was 2-2 on shots at halftime. So it was a slow.
I did see our guy Alex Freeman. He made a nice play at one point when I was watching, but I didn't get anything more than that. Did you know Antonio Freeman's son plays for the U.S. men's national team now, Stan?
Who?
Antonio Freeman's son.
No, I didn't
Alex.
know that. Alex
Is
Freeman.
on the U.S. men's national
Wow.
team now. So that was.
I heard Trump ordered the game to be close. He didn't
Is that what
wanna
it was?
embarrass- He didn't
want
want
to embarrass the
Didn't wanna
Saudis.
embarrass
the
That's
Saudis,
what happened there.
Yeah, that's what I
Republic of Saudi
understand.
That is
Arabia.
interesting. That is an interesting decision.
I understand he threatened to shoot
Oh my gosh, that is
U.S. players
oh
if
my
they
gosh,
if they won
that is
by more
aggressive.
than one
I'd
goal.
like to hope that's not the case. Yeah, so they clinch. Like now the Sunday's match doesn't matter against Haiti. They clinch their spot in the knockout round, but it was not exactly an enthralling soccer match. It was sort of lifeless for the most part. So that's what I've got from last night. We come back in. We're going to talk to Trevor May, former MLB pitcher.
Love Trevor May.
Get his thoughts on the Birds, get his thoughts on the deadline, get his thoughts on all sorts of stuff. We'll do that when we come in. Maybe we can get his thoughts on the Dodgers and Padres. And
let's ask him who he thinks should have been man of the match last night.
He can. Trevor May can
On
do his
Glenn-
own.
on Glenn
He can
Clark
do
Radio.
his own man of the match if he would like. We'll do that next. Today's show brought to you. Actually, Stan, you get together every Monday with you, Ross Grimsley, Luke Jackson.
That is correct.
And it's all brought to you by
The Costas
We
Inn with
love the
now
Costas
2
Inn.
great locations. 4100 North Point Boulevard and 2200 York Road
You
is the
can-
technical address of the new Costas Inn at the OTB at Timonium Fairgrounds.
There you go. You can check out the shows, facebook.com/PressBoxSports, youtube.com/PressBoxOnline, or PressBoxOnline.com/video. It is a Friday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. This August, the PGA Tour's best are coming to Maryland. The 2025 BMW Championship tees off August 12th through 17th at Caves Valley Golf Club in Owings Mills. See the top 50 players battle it out in the penultimate event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Don't miss your chance to witness world-class golf, fan experiences, and unforgettable moments. Tickets are on sale now at bmwchampionship.com. The BMW Championship, where legends take the lead.
Celebrate 60 years of America's favorite muscle car at Live Casino and win a new Ford Mustang. Earn entries daily and enjoy revved-up specials across our restaurants and bars all June. Cruise in Saturday, June 28th and be one of 25 players to win cool trips, hot prizes, or a new Ford Mustang. Hit the gas at Live Casino at Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. Learn more at DriveEasyMD.com.
What makes the Costas Inn so special? This is Stan the Fan telling you that it's the people that work for you, cooking and serving. But that menu is also special with a capital S. Soups, salads, the raw bar, pasta dishes, seafood specialties, and entrees like the Costas combos, steaks, chops, ribs, amazingly delicious meatloaf, and all manner of delicious spilling sandwiches, including pit beef and turkey and subs. Of course, the steamed crabs are as good as you can get anywhere, and they serve them 12 months a year. The crab cakes are out of this world. Costas is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner at 4100 North Point Boulevard, and coming soon, very soon, Costas in Timonium at the OTB Parlor at Timonium Racecourse. We'll get you the opening date real soon.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Want to improve your golf game or learn to play for the first time? The Baltimore Golf Academy has fun, instructional programs for the beginner golfer to everyday players. The Baltimore Golf Academy can take your game to the next level. Enroll today at baltimoregolfacademy.com.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Friday edition of the program. Today's show also brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Columbia, and Frederick. Complimentary testosterone tests. You are a man of a certain age. You don't feel like yourself. You've got questions. What is going on? I'm telling you, go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com right now. Make an appointment for a complimentary testosterone test at one of those 3 locations of Game Day Men's Health. And by the way, the answer, truth be told, I thought that was what was going on with me. I thought I might be low T. Turns out I'm super T. I'm Mr. T. But that doesn't mean that you're not going through something. And so they suggested for me peptide treatment, and that's been great. I wake up in the morning, I get out of bed, I feel good. I don't feel run down. I don't feel beat up. So, again, go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com, sign up for your complimentary testosterone test today. GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
What's involved with a peptide treatment? I mean, do you do
proteins.
But is it you
just take a
pills?
capsule,
Right?
put
Okay.
it right up in here.
Right.
It's a buccal treat.
So you don't have to go in.
No, I mean I went in the first time,
Right, the
obviously,
first
But
time.
no, it's every night or 5 nights a week.
That's great.
Pop that peptide in, and
That's great.
good to go. It's incredible what it's done for me. All right, let's talk some more Orioles. Talk some more baseball. Really excited to catch up with our next guest. He has shifted from his baseball career to his talking about baseball career, as he's got the Mayday show. He's got the Mayday podcast. He's got the Mayday report.
Why should you call it the Mayday?
It's very clever. It's very clever on his part. We're bringing on Trevor May. I might have screwed up there. I said, see, that doesn't make any sense now. Joining us now this morning, he is, of course, former Major League pitcher. Mr. Trevor May is with us on GCR. Trevor, it's Glenn and Stan here in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you so much for taking some time for us.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, dude. I guess before we get into what I want to talk some baseball with you, but I want to talk about you because you're making this transition. I think everybody knows what you went through in your career. When did you decide that like content and talking about baseball was something that you would be interested in doing after you had finished playing?
Oh, this was way back, probably really early in my career, honestly. Probably when I had Tommy John in 2017. Just I did like the Twitch streaming video game thing early in that when that got popular, and it kind of just felt easy for me, or just natural. I enjoyed it. I got to just talk about things that were interesting for me, and I'm one of those. I would say I characterize myself as a little over curious at times, where I'm just interested in everything, want to learn about everything that's happening. So just give me a platform, and I got pretty good at just sitting and talking nonstop for 6 hours, and that has parlayed into this stuff pretty well, to the point where I have career media personalities in baseball and sports in general who do shows for an hour or two, and they're just like, man, I don't know how you do no commercial breaks and just sit there and talk for hours. I'm like, I think I've just been practicing for a long time. So yeah, that's kind of where it came from. It kind of always made sense. It felt natural.
It's cool.
Trevor, from now on, I want to get you my phone number because you really screwed me up in 2023.
Uh-oh.
I traded for you.
Uh-oh.
I traded for you in my fantasy baseball league and got exactly what I wanted, but I had you at an inexpensive price for 2024, and you really let me down. I wish you couldn't you have let me know that you were going to retire?
Yes, I could have let a lot of people know, I'm sure. I hate to twist the dagger, but I knew the whole season too.
Oh,
so
no.
Man.
I could have definitely give you a heads up.
What was it when you took one look at Mason Miller? You said, I can't do this?
No, I'll be honest. I couldn't take my eyes away watching Mason Miller pitch.
Yeah.
But it actually, to be honest, like going back, I don't even know if I would have. I don't think going back to the A's would have probably happened. Even that's just kind of not how those things work for agents there. But so I think Mason was coming for that job no matter what.
Yeah,
that was going to happen. So nothing I could have done about it.
All kidding aside, I wanted to say that I really respected your outburst, or whatever you want to call it, against ownership of the Oakland A's at the time. I think it's really disgraceful how the fans in Oakland were treated by the powers that be, And I applauded you. I applauded you for your comments about that.
Sure.
Appreciate that.
Trevor, we wanted to talk some Orioles with you because we're in a weird place, right, where we're trying to figure out if this team still has a chance to turn the corner and make a run. They got their pieces back. You know, there have been positive signs. There's also been games that they blew 8-0 leads in, but hey, that happened. It happens to all baseball teams. Or if this is a nice stretch, but ultimately they're really not quite good enough, and they're still probably best suited selling some pieces at the deadline and trying to prep for being good in 2026.
It is an odd. I think it's an interesting situation. I think the closest comparison, I think, is maybe the Braves over on the other side. So for me, especially with the how I think about those two teams is like you really can't count them out because the ceiling for the talent on the team, you know, there's several guys who could just go on historic type tear, and if the pitching just dials it in just a little bit for a while and all tons of runs are scored, they can rattle off a double-digit win streak, and then you look up and they're right there, right? 12 teams make the playoffs. It's kind of, there's very few teams that are even out of it in September. So at this point, there's always a chance, but I will say, like, they have underperformed at a level that I think nobody could have predicted in even like a month or a couple months ago when things started really slowly. They're like, well, they gotta, you know, Cedric Mullins won't be the home run leader in June, will he? And you know, he's had a very good year, but you know, on a team with Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman and Ryan O'Hearn, like that's not something you would guess. But at the same time, you know, you can't count on these guys the same way that guys going on a tear for a really long time. You can't count on people being down for this long either. Someone's gonna turn it on a little bit, and I don't think they're so far out of it that it's not within the realm of possibility. The one thing that gives me pause there is just the division. The division they're in is tough. It always is tough. As you get towards the end of the year, the divisions start to beat up on each other, and they have the toughest or the first or second toughest division in the major leagues to go on a run in. So they need to make the moves before they're, you know, running into the Yankees and the Blue Jays over and over and over again. So that's what I'm looking at. But I'm looking at for, you know, Adley to turn it on a little bit, and I'm looking for Gunnar to turn it on a little bit. But if they both start get moving a little bit, and I'm not talking about needing to be hitting 400 for 2 months here, just getting back to what normal versions of those two guys look like. I think that they've gone on a good little run here without that really happening. So if that does happen, it could be they're a scary team, and everyone in front of them knows that if they get hot, that holding them off is going to be very hard. And so when you feel good about how you're playing, you got to take advantage of those situations and just win one series at a time. I think it's possible, but as we get closer here to the deadline, you got to make decisions, and they do have pieces that can make them better in the future.
Yeah.
So. It's going to be interesting. I would say at this moment, it's a coin flip for management.
I get that.
We'll know more soon.
Trevor May is with us, and if you go to his Twitter account, at I am Trevor May, he's got a link tree there where you can find all of the content that he does. Trevor, I wonder if I could follow that up with when they fired Brandon Hyde, my opinion, and I recognize it's nothing but an opinion, was that they should go ahead and try to hire a manager, and there's a lot of really good candidates, and Skip Schumacher to me was at the top of that list, and you know, I thought they should try to get a guy in place because I think it's an awkward spot to sort of have kind of a lame duck interim manager, and I want that whoever that manager is going to be to have some time around the players and to be involved in the conversations about what happens moving forward. But if they do keep winning, at what point do you have to consider whether this isn't just a lame duck interim manager? Like, is there a point where, you know, if a team, you know, it was 15 games under, suddenly wakes up and they're flirting with 500 at the end of the year, do you have to consider that guy to be the manager moving forward?
You know, absolutely. I think that's not an unprecedented thing. Look at Rob Thompson over in Philly. People maybe have already forgotten how he got his job, but he was the interim, and they're like, he's pretty good. Let's keep him in the role, and he's been great since he's been there. So maybe that's the way you get your opportunity. And if we're going to fire managers for the team's performance, then we should hire them for the team's performance as well. I think it should go both ways. What better proof that you can do the job than by doing the job? So I think if they exceed expectations from that point on in the management side, then I think everyone up on the fifth floor would be pretty excited to be able to say, that we weren't anticipating this, but this is a nice little problem we don't have to solve now, and make this a whole thing. And as someone who's already in the organization, has been there for the good teams, and knows the guys, and that is invaluable in a lot of ways, especially for a young team like this. So absolutely, I think that, and if I were to guess, I would say this is what they're thinking is like, let's keep our minds open to that being a possibility while still looking. And right now, I would say it ain't broke, don't fix it. But of course, the leash is going to be a little shorter. But if Skip's your guy long term, then you can make that happen, and you made that decision. Then I would say pull that trigger. But I think by their actions, they're showing that is not the plan that they have.
We're talking to Trevor May, former big league pitcher, and Trevor, as somebody who pitched into their early 30s, I mean, you were 33 when you retired. Can you relate at all to what Charlie Morton went through earlier this year? And what does it say about him? This was probably going to be his last year anyway, that he didn't just sort of, say, hey, guys, this didn't work out the way we wanted. I'm going to walk away. You'll save some money, and I'll go home to Georgia or wherever, or Bradenton, where he lives. What does it say about him that he dug in and put in the work to get back to where he is right now?
I think it says a lot about his character and kind of professional he is. I've never actually gotten the pleasure of talking to Charlie yet. Right. I'm sure I will in the future, hopefully, because he's one of my favorite pitchers to watch talk about pitching. But anecdotally, guys have known him too that I've played with. Always have seen the highest praises for him, just in terms of like how much he loves the whole go to the field and figure this thing out, kind of make adjustments, and how do you turn around slumps. He's like, that's really the part of the game that he truly, really loves to do. And so with that mindset, like no matter how poorly you're pitching or playing, like there's always something you could be doing and figuring out. And I think that's why he's been able to kind of turn around tough starts, which he's had to do a few times these last couple of years. Like he started slow with the Braves a couple years ago, and last year started slow, and he's had to kind of find his command again. But he just takes the ball. Like he's like, if you guys need me in any situation, just give me the ball. That's one thing I'm going to do every time. And those elements are huge. But also through those same guys, a lot of guys have said, after the Astros, it was kind of like, hey, year by year, like, let's play with some house money here. We've been doing really good. He got to go close to home, and then they kept extending him. And he's like, I'm going to just kind of keep playing. So I think that all of that combined kind of makes him a great teammate to have and be around, and just like, he's going to battle no matter what he's got. And when he starts something, he's going to finish it. I totally doesn't surprise me one bit that he's like, hey, I said I'm going to play this year, and I'm going to do everything I can to give you as much value as I can. If you decide that I'm no longer able to do that, then I'm good with that. But I'm not going to decide that I'm not, because I said I would do it. I'm going to do it, and that's what you're seeing now. And he has pitched better, and he's short. He's starting to look like old Charlie a little bit more. And he throws 30 starts every year. He's never hurt, so you can count on him being out there for the rest of the season regardless. And that's some stability regardless of how the games go that this team needs.
I know that you're not. I recognize you're not watching the Orioles the way that we are. Like, I understand that, Trevor, but
how do you know?
Well, that's a fair point. Maybe you really are
might
watching.
Be a closet Oriole.
Right. I wonder if you've watched enough that you have any thought about what's been going on with Adley Rutschman for the last year. And it's such a weird thing for us, because when Adley Rutschman arrived, he was everything we thought he was going to be, and arguably more. And then suddenly, at about the midway point of last year, he went from that to not even really being helpful in the second half of last season. And for a big, he's had a couple decent weeks recently, and you hope that he's starting to show signs. But do you have any sense of what might be going on there? Is it possible that it's asking too much for a catcher to also be that significant of an offensive figure? Like, how do we make sense of what the last year has looked like now for Adley Rutschman?
Well, I am a fairly good guy to ask at least about Adley, because the last pitch I threw in Camden was a walk-off home run to Adley freshman. So
I didn't even realize
I am well acquainted.
Yeah.
Second pitch fastball just took me deep. But so Adley, one thing that's really interesting, because I am up here in Seattle full time, so the games I get to go see in person mostly are the Mariners. So I get to go see Cal Raleigh do it every day.
And it tends to be when
Adley's
Adley's at his best too, by the way, is when he's out in Seattle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's one of those weird guys who hits really well here. There's been a lot of conversations about what's making Cal so good and how hard it is to do what he's doing because he does catch so much. And I think that there's a combination of a few things. One thing is he's still like relatively young in terms of service time, right? And he's been asked to kind of be this like quarterback type leader of this team. And I think that with the ups and downs of the entire group, those ups and downs are also added to your plate on top of your own ups and downs. And we see that a little bit here in Seattle with Julio Rodriguez. He puts a lot on his shoulders to take over games, and that gets him a little excited, and he goes through some slumps and maybe makes some bad decisions. And it could be something that pressing a little bit for Adley could be a part of the equation. Next is catching, being a catcher. And if your pitchers aren't throwing great, which is this year, you could be helping them, try to help them solve that problem. Like I said, on top of all of your own issues, things you need to be working on. When you're young and you haven't quite figured out exactly how you're going to do everything every day all the time, it's even harder to do. So I think he is just taking a lot of the maybe disappointments from the other areas of the team and participating in those a little bit, which makes him press, even if it's subconscious and he doesn't feel like he's doing it. That could be a part of it as well. And then you add all the fatigue of sitting behind the plate when it's getting warm up there in Baltimore, and you're just sweating all day. Like, sometimes you just got to be like, you know what, I'm going to focus on catching this ball well today, because swing it, like, and if I can get a couple hits, great. And you start to make decisions about the energy as well. So, like, that, all of that together can be exhausting. It can compound. But, you know, at some point, you kind of got to relinquish some of the responsibility. And he just, I also haven't talked to Adley in person yet, but I'm sure he is a guy who takes responsibility. Maybe leans towards takes too much responsibility as opposed to letting some stuff go. And if I were to guess, I would say that's something he's going to learn how to balance that stuff. How do I get myself ready and then worry about the needs of everybody else? But he's definitely searching. And but I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I think he's going to find that sweet spot. It's just about managing it, man. They've been good since he came up. So this is just another thing you got to learn.
Trevor, I want to ask you a kind of an industry question, and I wonder what side you're on this. I've been championing the robo umpires or electronic ball strike, zone for a long, long time, and I always thought, naive of me, I guess, that when they did go to it, it was going to be for every pitch. In other words, it's very simple to tell what a ball and a strike is. It doesn't take really any time up. The more I watch the box on television, and I, by the way, I don't say this, I know this is a long-winded question, but I don't say this as just a critique of umpires, but how many balls and strikes they miss. There's about, I'm going to guess, about 270 pitches in a game, in an average game, maybe as many as 300. Do you think that the problem is solved by 2 challenges a game? Well, why not just go full bore and let the electronics call the balls and strikes? You still have an home plate umpire who's there to call balks, plays at the plate, and everything. I mean, I don't understand what they're trying to solve with 2 challenges a game.
Well, there's a couple elements, and I completely hear you there.
Yeah.
I think that having a robotic element is very important. I'm more of a fan of the challenge system, but I would say three would be the sweet spot, because when it comes to baseball, and there's an issue in sports called that someone, I can't remember who did it, but they dubbed it the solve game problem. And basketball is having an issue with it because basically it's just threes and layups. That's all they do.
Yeah.
It's because the other things have been incentivized against because of analytics and stuff. In baseball, we have having an element of randomness makes it so the game doesn't become solved. So, like it's a story we're watching. I'm thinking of Vince Scully talking through the game, and he's telling a story as he's telling the game about what he's seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that story is the human element of mistakes possibly being made. And I think what the commissioner's office in the league is trying to do is get it so it's much, much better, but perfection will then give us the opposite, where it takes some of that tension away, and then now we have an element of it's boring because it's literally rinse and repeat. There's nothing that will ever change here. It'll just be right or be wrong, and you want a little bit of variation. And so I like the challenges because then it adds now there's a skill element. Now we have to figure out what hitters know the strikes on the best, what pitchers know the strikes on the best, and what managers make the best decisions, because you can ruin it. You can win or lose the game using your challenges, which is now another mechanic in the game.
But Trevor, the manager's not the one that's deciding the challenge. The only people that can challenge are the batter, the pitcher, and the catcher.
But what the manager does have control over is telling which guys they're okay to unilaterally challenge.
Okay.
But you can look in and say, should I challenge this? Right? You have enough time. You have a couple seconds. Like take Terry Francona for example. In spring, he's like, none of you guys get to do this because his team's so young, and he's like, this isn't a real thing, so we're not going to make this part of our process. So that's the interesting thing. Especially me being in a clubhouse, if I were in there, it would be awesome to see how the veterans are working with the rookies on when to use these things, who we're trusting the most. Like I played with Joe Mauer. We would have been like, Joe, you get all 3 challenges, and then we'll use whatever's left over. Like that's how that would have worked. And it'll be different for every team, and it'll be really interesting to see how it changes games. We saw the Immaculate Inning get messed up the other night for Yamamoto. I think it was last night on a fastball right down the middle.
Right down the middle.
Ball.
Yes.
I think both the hitter and the pitcher would have challenged that one. They're like, come on, man. So I would have. I think it's going to be fun to see when challenges are used. I think it's another element that people will enjoy, like anticipating, and it'll be part of the story. And a lot more strikes and balls will be called correctly. And I think there's a happy medium there. I think it's just the number of challenges that will be the adjustment to be made. But there's a part of me that's like, when stuff gets wrong and you get mad about it, that's kind of getting mad is an emotion that is part of the game. So I kind of want to make sure that people can still get mad about stuff, even if it's less stuff.
Trevor, is there anything specific that you'd like us to plug for you before we let you go? We really appreciate you doing this.
Just Trevor May Baseball on YouTube. I'm working very, very hard on it. We have all kinds of really fun stuff. A new show in the works, so that'll be up there soon. And I have Mayday live every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And we do an hour where I talk about baseball and do a presentation, and then there's an hour where it's very much community driven. So the people in there chatting and stuff, asking questions, and really drive the show. So there's two different versions. It's a lot of fun. So check me out over there on YouTube.
That's great stuff, man.
No chance for a comeback.
No chance for a comeback. Maybe I'll get back in shape and see if I can throw hard. That is the project we're working on.
Do you ever have do you ever have a morning where you wake up and you're like,
boy, I feel
damn,
pretty good.
maybe I did call it too early. Does that ever register with you?
From time to time, and then I see my 9-month-old son. I'm like, that's really hard to do.
I get that.
But then I look at him again. I'm like, it'd be nice to actually share that with you as well. I'm conflicted, but I do wake up and look in the mirror and say, wow, I'm fat. I should probably go throw. That's more what it is now.
You know, I had Dan Duquette on a Zoom a couple weeks ago, and I cannot remember whether it was the last 5 years or 10 years, but he said that the number of players on the IL has doubled in the last 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, I believe that.
That is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I totally believe it, man.
Yeah.
Trevor, thank you for doing this morning, man. We really appreciate it. We'd love to do it again.
Of course, guys. Anytime. Let me know. Have a good day, all right?
Really
Thanks,
enjoyed
man.
it.
Trevor May, great stuff with him. Appreciate him taking the time for us this morning.
Thoughtful guy.
You and I don't always agree.
Yeah.
You joke that sometimes we never agree,
Right.
which is not actually true. We
Yeah.
agree more often than we give credit for. But we agree strongly about the
Ball
umpire.
striking.
Oh, my God, do we agree strongly about
Well,
it?
my other point is the analytics, not the analytics, just pure statistics show that the difference in batting average when a hitter is ahead 2-1 versus 1-2 is like
other than oddly
unbelievable.
Colton Cowser this week.
Right,
who's
exactly.
Waiting until 2 strikes.
Yeah,
to
he
do
loves
he
to do
loves
that.
2 strikes.
Well, because he's playing
Correct.
for the man of the match.
Exactly right. He wants to build the drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the difference is so dramatic. It's like if a hitter's ahead 2-1, he hits like 290 or something like that. And if he's behind 1-2, he hits like 140.
Yeah.
Okay. If that's the difference, why wouldn't you want to get that right for both people?
The wildest part to me is that this is not just Trevor May. Overwhelmingly, players that I've talked to about this topic have said they like the challenge system, not automatic balls and strikes.
Yeah, most players I've talked to over
Yeah.
the years, because I go back 8-9 years pitching, really beating the drum on this. None of them, virtually, Dave Johnson was one of the only ones that kind of agreed that there should be robotic umpires. Most players, I like the human element.
Well, and there's different arguments for everybody, right? I told you one of the things that Corbin Burns always said was like, I know where the strike zone is.
Right.
And if I know where the strike zone is, then I want to manipulate that.
Right.
And he was,
He
or
was a good
is,
manipulator.
unbelievably good
Yeah,
at.
but see what happened to him?
Yeah, right?
'Cause he had
That's
all
the
those
reason.
extra
That's
pitches he had
the
to throw.
reason. That's for pitchers. They're that way. Some guys, I just happen to know this guy's strike zone really well, and so I feel like that gives me an advantage in the at bat that I know where the strike zone is.
In a day and age where pitching is so costly and such a risk, high risk to lay out those kind of dollars, why would you want your pitcher as an owner to get a missed call? And then it leads to 8 or 9 more or 12 more pitches
thrown.
I just think it's nonsensical. I want to get every ball and strike right.
Again, we really agree strongly about it. And part of it, I have said before, for me.
I've always thought you were extremely bright.
For me, part of it, Stan, is my sport is tennis.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it ad nauseum that like there was a lot of, well, I don't know when they introduced.
It's going to change the game.
And for all of us that have played and watched tennis at a high level, it was seamless how it went from just over the top John McEnroe screaming bloody murder to, no, this is just fact.
Right.
Let's get on to playing the tennis. Let's get on.
I've never heard anybody in a tennis match say, damn, that 5-hour match that was a classic.
Right.
Boy, if they had only gone to, if they didn't have the electronics, it would have been so long.
Right.
Or something like that.
Look, man, it has bettered the sport in ways that we had no idea how much better it was going to make the sport. And Trevor May's argument for like, well, you still want there to be some controversy. Why?
Yeah. I want to get the fact. You say, it's facts.
This is where I am. Like, again, maybe I'm the weird one. Griffin always says I don't like baseball. I just want baseball. Like, that's what I want to watch.
Like the baseball.
You like seeing guys get thrown out, though, maybe?
No. It's the opposite of that. We look up at the screen. That was a strike. All right. Well, all good. I had it wrong.
Right.
My bad.
Right.
All good, man. We just want the calls to be right.
Yeah.
That's it. And yes, sometimes your team gets the advantage. We never remember the ones that were terrible that were to your advantage. You always remember the ones that were terrible that were to the opponent's advantage. We knew we needed to put a replay system in for plays at the base, right? Like things that were wrong. The throw the other night where, God, what game was it? Where the tag at home that Adley knew he had gotten it and was smirking as they called him safe. Why am I not remembering what game? That was like in the last couple of weeks. Was it in the Angel series maybe? Yeah. Where you remember like Adley had just that smirk on his face afterwards.
Where he
like
looked, where the camera
and he's like, He's like, come on, dude. Like, he's out.
Against Detroit, I forget.
I don't
where it
remember
was
where.
against,
I don't remember where it
I
was.
think it was the Angels.
So we know we need to go to review for that stuff, but yet for this, we just kind of accept it. Like, that's baseball. But why? Why is that baseball? Why can't the baseball be the baseball?
I love the stolen base when the guy gets an inch off of the bat, and that's
because,
not even why. That's
Yeah.
not even why they did the replay.
Yep.
But you see something.
Yep.
Nah, he was off the base. We want to get that right, but the balls and strikes.
To be fair, we see this in basketball sometimes where they ask for a review of a foul,
Right.
and we're looking at contact up here, and then what we missed is there was like a tug down here, and so then they they show the first review of it, and they say, I don't see anything there, and then they show the second review, and they're like, yeah, like as it turns out. This was a bad challenge. Look at the jersey grab down here that we weren't recognizing.
I know what play you're talking about, too. It was in two
it's
days.
happened a couple of times during this series. And there was one last night that was a good review. The Pacers had a good review. They had a review in the first half last night.
Right.
Give Rick Carlisle a lot of credit. You almost never see that early. You want to save your reviews.
Right.
But they had all the momentum, and there was a bad foul call, and he reviewed it, and he was absolutely right. There was some minimal foot contact. They use the term
It's funny.
marginal.
I've never thought of him as a great coach, and the other day when we had Quinn Buckner,
no doubt,
on,
man.
yeah.
I have. To your point, obviously he won
coached the Mavs. For
and he won the title with Dirk in Dallas, and you kind of thought him as like Nick Nurse, right? Like he was along for the ride.
So he played for Terry Holland at Virginia.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, I think he played in
I think
'82.
so.
Was
yeah, I think that's right. But yeah,
probably might have been a teammate of Ralph Sampson's. I wonder.
Oh, Ralph Sampson was right then, 100%. When was the Chaminade game? What year was that when they lost out in Hawaii?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, Rick Carlisle to me absolutely deserves way more credit as a coach, and I think he's been phenomenal with this Pacers team. And I feel you and I are strongly in agreement about this. That it's almost bizarre how defensive we are of this part of just not getting the calls right.
Right.
And the only argument I ever hear that I give any credence to, Stan, is there is no strike zone. Like if we put a box up, we're fabricating it. We are making something that doesn't. The rules don't write out that it's a perfect box for the strike zone. We just make one for the sake of TV. So there can be no automated balls and strikes. But we're going to do it for reviews. We're accepting that box when we put the challenge system in. So it's good enough for that, but not good enough to just be the strike zone?
Yeah. I don't get it.
Doesn't work.
Terry Holland was the head coach of Virginia from 74 to 90, and Carlisle was there. He played at Maine, Rick Carlisle, and then played 82 to 84 there. But
so I would assume Sampson.
Yeah,
you're
right.
Sampson.
Yeah, you're right. He played.
Was Sampson on that team?
Yes, he was. He played with Sampson, and he was on that same Chaminade team. The team that
lost to Chaminade.
Yes.
And who was the other Virginia player that was a coach over in D.C. at American? Actually, he coached Virginia.
Pete Gillen.
No, it wasn't Pete Gillen. It was a player.
Oh God,
I forget.
I could do.
Stokes, Wilson. I don't think it was him. Edelin.
No.
Hold on, I'll look it up.
All right,
in a minute.
we're getting our best men on this.
Yeah.
Our best men. We're assigning to this. Thank you to Trevor May. Appreciate that. That was a lot of fun. Today's show also brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel.
Larinago's an assistant coach on those teams.
Wow, Larinago was coaching, and jeez, man.
So was Dave.
That's a heck of a run. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. The best place, the only place where you should be for watching Game 7 on Sunday night. Inside Sports and Social. Just steps away from the FanDuel Sportsbook. 100-foot media wall. Great food. Awesome atmosphere. Sports and Social. Live Casino and Hotel. It's Game 7. I don't think we need to say anything else. Get there on Sunday night. Griffin will let us know what else happened in the world of baseball this week when we come back in. It is a Friday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
What makes the Costas Inn so special? This is Stan the Fan telling you that it's the people that work for you, cooking and serving. But that menu is also special with a capital S. Soups, salads, the raw bar, pasta dishes, seafood specialties, and entrees like the Costas combos, steaks, chops, ribs, amazingly delicious meatloaf, and all manner of delicious spilling sandwiches, including pit beef and turkey and subs. Of course, the steamed crabs are as good as you can get anywhere, and they serve them 12 months a year. The crab cakes are out of this world. Costas is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner at 4100 North Point Boulevard, and coming soon, very soon, Costas in Timonium at the OTB Parlor at Timonium Racecourse. We'll get you the opening date real soon.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Need a trophy or award that's as unique as the achievement? Look no further than Crown Trophy. With locations in Owings Mills and Gaithersburg, they specialize in custom trophies, plaques, and medals for any occasion. From sports and academic awards to employee recognition and corporate gifts, visit crowntrophy.com today and let them help you create a lasting memory for your school, team, or business. Crown Trophy is a proud supporter of the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association. crowntrophy.com.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, we celebrate the first ever Baltimore basketball player to reach the Naismith Hall of Fame as we talk to those who knew Carmelo Anthony best about how his Baltimore upbringing shaped his legendary career. Also inside, Bo Smoka profiles Ravens second-round pick Mike Green, and find our annual summer travel section with information on some of the best sporting events and activities in Maryland that your family can check out all summer long. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
I have a bit of a problem in my life at the moment. I was coming in hot today because I lost my wallet.
It's got to be in your car.
What do you need that for?
I have a couple problems here. I know I had it yesterday. I went to the Apple store.
Oh.
I know I had it there.
They stole it.
Maybe. I believe I remember putting it in whenever I go to the gym. I shouldn't say this out loud. I put it in a certain place in my car because I don't want to take it into the gym with me, and I'd rather not have to get a locker and the whole thing.
Where exactly in the car?
Yeah, exactly. I put it in a very specific place that I always put it in the car.
Tell me where it is. I'll go out.
No, that's smart. You should go check, all right? Then when I come back from the gym, the first thing I always do when I get in the car is grab my wallet, put it back in my pocket so that I have it.
Okay.
So I find it hard to believe, because this is a daily occurrence, that yesterday was the first day that I just didn't do that and didn't notice I didn't have my wallet.
Right.
It's very hard.
Did you look in that spot?
Yes, I did look in that spot.
So
my belief is
it's at the Apple store.
No, my belief is that I put it back. I'm telling you, it's part of the process for me putting it in the. If I went to the Apple store, then I went to the gym. If I went to the gym and I went to take my wallet out of my pocket and put it where I put it, and it wasn't there, I would have been alarmed. I don't ever. That's part of the routine. So I am convinced.
And I know you probably carry about $2,000 cash.
Oh my God, all of the cash. I mean, so much. I'm swimming in it. You know how well I'm doing here. I mean, we all are.
Yeah.
So I am convinced that it got home. I'm convinced that it got home.
You think it got home?
I think
it's lost in your house?
I think it's somewhere. I've been through this before with
Maybe
my
the
keys.
dog ate it.
I think that at some point, I took it out, and my kids
knew all the caches.
Right,
in
they
there.
wanted to get the cash. No, they just moved it because it was in their way of whatever they were doing. They were going to watch a movie or something on the couch, and they saw it, and they just threw it somewhere else.
Under the couch.
Something like that. So this morning, I wake up, I'm texting with Griffin, I'm figuring out what we're doing on the show, everything's good, I'm having a very normal morning, and then I go to look on where I normally keep my wallet, I'm like, my keys are here, my phone's here, my wallet's not here. Oh, that's weird. That's weird. And then I start looking in all the other places where I might leave my wallet, and it's not in any of those places. And then I'm starting to, yell at the kids. Then I'm like, where's my wallet? And they're like, we don't know. We didn't.
Poor kids.
And that might be true or might not be true.
Griffin can relate to that.
Yeah, right? Getting yelled at 100%. You should ask him about how his week has gone. all the trouble he's created this week. So this is my plea. Dear Baltimore County Police. You're my guys, right?
You think they'll get on it?
You're my guys. No, your old pal GC is going to be driving later today.
Oh, okay.
And I just openly admitting.
Well, share your license plate number so they know not to pull you over.
I don't have my license on me. It's somewhere. I don't know where my wallet is. We're buddies, right? We've been cool for a long time.
That's a good prank to play on.
Yeah.
Just call the police and say, somebody stole my
Remember
car.
how I came over and, in fact, you offered me a job because I went through the fitness test a couple years ago and passed with flying colors and was a little disturbed by how many people wanted to be cops and couldn't pass the test. I was still a little disturbed.
Are you
by
pretty
that.
sure? By the way, I'm going to put mine back.
You better do that.
Is mine with my tile.
And that's a very smart move and might be the next step in this process for your old pal.
But are you 100% convinced it's not at the Apple store?
I am 87% convinced that it's not at the Apple store.
How do you drive on that number?
Because I can't. If I
you
was
call
100%,
them?
I would know. Yeah, I'm gonna. That'll be a part of the plan.
Why don't you call them on the air?
I'll check it on the air. And so some
It's TikTok.
What?
It's TikTok.
Yeah, we're live on TikTok right now. Oh, okay. If I called and said, "Hey, it's Glenn Clark Radio," they're like, "What's radio? I mean, radio. What is that?" Well, we're live.
That's
on
your last name. What's your date of birth? Glenn Clark Radio.
So please, Baltimore County Police, we're old pals.
Don't pull me over.
Just don't pull me over. I don't speed. I don't do anything crazy. So
what is in there? Your credit card?
The credit cards, driver's license, probably all the gift cards that I got in lieu of payment over the years. A lot of that going on. Minor amount of cash, negligible amount of cash, I would say. Sure. I'm so sure I'm carrying. Normally I carry zero. I just happen to have some cash because when I bought the crabs for Father's Day this year, and so my brother-in-law threw me a little bit of cash in response. I'm in that place where my father is, where I'm not splitting this with you. I want it to be known that I paid for the bulk. I want it to be known that you want to throw me a little bit? Fine, I'll let you throw a little bit. But I did the majority of the work here. Yeah, right? I'm in that spot. My father for years wouldn't let me pay anything. Zero. We took my son to the Japanese steakhouse for his birthday 2 weeks ago. And my father and I got into it because he said, at most we can split this bill. I said, Dad, it's my son. It's his birthday.
Grandson.
That's exactly what it is.
And then you guys started wrestling around the stage.
Oh, my God, we're throwing.
But you let him win.
I agreed to split it with him. Okay. No more. I said, that's it. That is the limit. No more than splitting. And he said, fine, we can split it. Okay. So I was appreciative of that because that's a win with my father.
Let your dad know that anytime
he wants to take you out to the Japanese steakhouse.
I'll let him
100%, right? 100%. All right, it's a Friday, and on Fridays, please don't pull me over. On Fridays, we do this.
This week
in the rest of
baseball.
This week in the rest of baseball is brought to you by the new print issue of Press Box. Griffin.
Oh, it's over here.
Yeah, it's over there. Yeah, let's hold that up so everybody can see it.
Cover.
It's all about the first ever Baltimore Basketball Hall of Famer, Carmelo Anthony, of course, going into the Hall of Fame later on this summer.
Is this good replacement music?
It's baseball organ music.
Yeah.
We can't play more than a couple of seconds of the copyrighted music, so we have to find new music to play for the bed after the copyrighted music. Oh, and don't stand. It's a hot button issue around these parts. It is. It's caused some problems the
Speaking
last
of
couple of
wrestling.
days. Whoo, boy.
Maybe we'll go live on TikTok again later this afternoon.
I asked a question earlier this morning, and it was like I'd started a fight. I don't think I love this.
You don't like
I don't think I love this one.
This
I
is
think
old baseball organ music.
I hear you, but it's more like it's not baseball organ music. It's definitely not that.
You know, if you hadn't mentioned it,
No,
I
turn it
wouldn't-
down. What are you doing? We have to find something else. We have to find a different replacement. Anyway, the new
Take
print.
me out to the ball game.
Is that in the public domain?
It might be.
I would think Take Me Out of the Ball Game's in the public domain at this point. The original Mickey Mouse is in the public domain. We can do anything we want with the Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse. 100%. That's what we can do. Hiya! It's time for this week and the rest of baseball.
Not bad. There you go.
I've got worse. I've got worse than my Mickey Mouse. Anyway, that new print issue of Pressbox available for free wherever you find Pressbox around town. You can read it all at PressBoxOnline.com as we talk to those who knew Carmelo Anthony during his time. That's not bad, but it still has the other one playing in the background. It sounds like it. Yeah, you don't hear that?
Is it in the public domain?
Charge?
No. Oh, that was Charge?
Yeah, that's what this is.
I read his thing. It said, take me out to the ball.
Now this, do we know if that's in the public domain?
No.
Well, then what are you doing? Are you trying to cause more problems?
That was 20 seconds.
Do you know how this week has gone?
That was 20 seconds I gave it.
We're currently not on Facebook because of you. What are you doing? John Colson's ready to jump through that glass and tackle you.
Dana White lost his mind about something I did.
Sure.
That's the thing he's finally mad at
That's
me
less
about.
egregious than the thing the other day.
Dana White should be a lot more
You
upset
got
about
to
other
figure
things.
out if it's in the public domain. Yeah,
I'm
Stan's,
in charge of it.
Stan's getting nuts. Stan is now
It was 20 seconds. He's
Stan-
overreacting. He's
Stan-
he's doing.
What does Jake do?
Yeah. Why don't we just play the Rolling Stones right now? Stan is in charge. He's going to be our public domain guy. He's all over it. We got our top men on this. Top men solving these problems. The answer to the previous question was Jeff Jones, by the way. It was Jeff Jones the previous time. Look up whether it's in the public domain or not. I'm pretty sure it is.
I've got a segment to run.
Print an issue of Pressbox. There it is. Carmelo Anthony. Go get it. I don't think that was a very good read for the print issue of
Yes,
Pressbox.
the original version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, including both the music and the 1908 lyrics, is in the public domain.
Hit it! Hit it!
In the United States.
Hit it! We're in! We're in, baby! It's going to be the open. This is going to be our rejoiner for every segment moving forward. Take me out to the ball game. That's all we're doing, dog. It's going to be a show full of Take Me Out to the ball game. Anytime you want to play
You know
a clip.
what the proof is that it's in the public domain? Tom Davis has been using it.
That's a
for
good point,
years.
actually, now that I think about it. That's a good point.
All
right.
We've been pretty up to date on baseball over the last this week. At least on the major topics.
We just talked about the Dodgers-Padres thing this morning.
Rafael Devers we obviously touched on, but we haven't talked about it with Stan. So the Rafael Devers trade, Stan. Did you think it was a prank when you saw it as well?
No, I didn't think it was a prank, and I wrote a column about it. I thought it was we can argue whether Rafael Devers was being a jackass, but you're a bigger jackass if you're the general manager of the team and you sign a player for $313 million and you choose not to even consult him on signing Alex Bregman and talking about the ramifications of that.
Mhm.
Because you can't tell me the Red Sox wouldn't be a better team with Alex Bregman at first
And Devers
still at third base.
I understand why, in their ideal world, they preferred Bregman at third. And I understand
discuss
that.
it with
right?
him. You don't
correct.
want to lose Bregman.
Correct.
I mean, you don't want
Devers,
to lose
right.
Devers.
I understand why this is ideally what they wanted, and this to me does speak to. And I'm not. Somebody's gonna say, "How did you turn this into a conversation about Mike Elias?" Chill. All right, I'm gonna get there. This speaks to me to
Probably should
the.
be more of that, yeah.
Well, it speaks to me about sort of the disconnect that exists now, where front offices. This is not unique in Baltimore. Overwhelming. It's the thing that I've said. Overwhelmingly, the front office, the general manager has almost ubiquitous power over
Autonomy,
yes. Over everything that happens within every organization. And so, to your point, a human hey, we can't just – you're seeing something with numbers. You're saying in a perfect world, we got Bregman at third, Devers at first, we got the best baseball team. Right. But there's a human element.
In the perfect world, they wanted Cassis at first.
That's correct.
Devers
and Devers,
at DH.
Yes, correct. Correct.
You know.
So we're seeing how that looks, and analytically and numerically, that looks like the best thing we can do. But that takes out all of the human aspect of it. And this is where it shouldn't be completely unchecked, where a general manager who wants to make a move should be calling the manager of the baseball team and saying, hey, here's what I'm thinking about. I want to get your thoughts on it and what that might mean.
And you're with Devers every day. How will he handle it?
How receptive is he to that?
Who should talk to him first? Should it be me, Craig Breslow, or should it be you, Alex Cora?
And when you make that call, you might get back feedback that you don't want. You might be.
The other thing is, not to interrupt you, but Craig Breslow's been the GM of a Major League Baseball team for 2 years?
Yeah.
Maybe you might want the guy who's in charge of the team. What's his name there? Not John Henry. The
owner.
The team president.
Oh, God, yeah.
He took Larry Lucchino's gig.
Kennedy, Sam Kennedy.
Sam Kennedy. That's the guy who should be sort of bringing up all the pitfalls.
Yeah, the ramifications,
right,
of something like
unintended consequences.
To me, this is why collaboration is the word that I keep coming back to. That no matter who the general manager is of the Orioles moving forward, no matter who the manager is of the Orioles moving forward, it needs to be collaborative. You need to be working together and not just we're the front office, what we say is what it's going to be, because these are the types of things that happen.
To his credit, Craig Breslow, who I lambasted in this column, and I'm sure he'll never read that column.
I don't know.
But he's taken it upon himself to say, we were misaligned with Devers, but moving forward, I realized I could have done a better job. I was surprised that he at least admitted it.
Yeah,
he said, I could have done a better job communicating.
That's not nothing. You're right.
Yeah.
That's not nothing.
So anyway, it's this week in the rest of baseball.
That's a good point.
June Lee wrote a good article about it on Yahoo, and Jake Mintz also said so. June Lee wrote the article, and a lot of people thought that Craig Breslow feels robotic, and Jake Mintz heard that he lacks feel. So these are just all things kind of backing up your point. One of the excerpts from June Lee's piece on Yahoo. One of the clearest signals came during an internal team Zoom meeting earlier this season. Toward the end, Carl Mesh, I think is how you pronounce it, was a Red Sox scouting supervisor, and he's been with the Red Sox since 2017. Thought the call ended, and it hadn't. As the meeting wrapped, his voice cut through, and it said, "Thanks, Brez, you effing stiff," is what Mesh called him, according to two team sources. The words landed like a grenade, and Breslow fired Mesh. He did not respond to a request for a comment. Carl Mesh did. So, but seems like turmoil. Yeah,
seems like he'd be a great guest for
Mesh,
Glenn Clark Radio next week.
Yikes.
But yeah, so the Red Sox kind of reeling. They did get a couple wins, I think, this week. They play San Francisco in San Francisco this weekend. The Red Sox.
That's
and
great.
The Giants
Great
too.
timing.
Yes.
That is kind of good for baseball, right? Like there'll be more attention to that series than
we already touched on the Dodgers-Padres drama. The immaculate inning was ruined. I guess we don't need to dive into it too much deeper.
It's so bad. It's so bad, man. And look, I'm not trying to pretend that. And this is not Armando Galarraga, right? Like this is not an immaculate inning is neat, but it's not a perfect game.
Zach says immaculate innings should be 3 outs on 3 pitches instead.
Is Zach Moore?
Yeah. Sorry, Zach Moore.
It's an interesting thought. I also saw that Zach was in the comments pumping up Tyler O'Neill.
Yes, he did. O'Neill's going to help carry the O's in the second half.
I don't know if that was ironic, if he was saying that jokingly, or if he was.
Maybe both.
I mean, Charlie Morton had like a 5-pitch inning last night, didn't he? Early on in the game.
He had 16 pitches to the first 2 innings.
It's an interesting argument that a 3-pitch inning is better than a 9-pitch inning, but. An immaculate inning is what it is.
I know it's a strike.
It's just a title that we've given to this anomaly, but it's an accomplishment, but it's not something that we're gonna define a player by. The way that throwing a perfect game can be that type of thing. This was embarrassing. It's just very embarrassing that that's the thing that if you're not watching baseball, if you're only watching on Twitter, and this is the thing that you saw from baseball last night, was a horrendously missed call. I mean, not close how bad this call was. So, yeah, it's just bad. It's just bad all around.
There we go. We're seeing it now. It's courtesy of Sportsnet LA. And we'll only run about 15 seconds, just a heads up for
Maybe
everyone.
not even that much. Maybe not even that much.
But yeah, as you can see, middle, and Jake's seen it for the first time now.
It's not close.
Absurd.
It's awful. All right.
Then next up on baseball, let's go. Jack Caglione finally had his first career home run earlier this week for the Royals, and he made it 2. He had 2 home runs on. Was that yesterday?
Bully for Jack Caglione.
They gave him the old silent treatment in the dugout, an extended silent treatment. Like literally everyone left the dugout, went into the clubhouse, and then they all ran out and high-fived him. So Jack Caglione is officially here. Chris Sale had a very strong start for Atlanta.
A lot of talk about Chris Sale this week.
Braves said they will not be trading Chris Sale.
I get it. Where are the Braves record-wise, and where are they?
Better than the Orioles.
But the National League is also a little bit better than the American League, too. The American League is very mid. Is very middle of the road. I have not looked at the National League.
Orioles are 10 games under, 6 games out, and Atlanta is 34-39, so 5 games under. They're 5.5 out. So more in terms of games back, same spot.
Yeah.
Give or take. Braves said they're not going to trade Sale, so this is off the heels of Sale throwing 8 2/3, just 1-run ball on Wednesday night, which was also Usher bobblehead night in Atlanta.
Did you get me one?
No, I did not get you one.
I would like one, actually.
An Usher bobblehead.
I would like an Usher
maybe Chris
bobblehead.
Sale's a big Usher.
I never got. I think they did they did an Outcast bobblehead set a couple years ago. I went on eBay and it was outrageous. It was like $400 to get one. I was like, well, I don't think that's going to be happening.
Christian Campbell back to the Red Sox.
I guess here's the other thing that I saw going on. Is Chris Sale definitively a Hall of Famer?
He's got a ring, right?
I wouldn't say so at this point in time.
I think the problem we have is what starting pitchers are.
Yeah.
Right? We're so used to.
Let me look up his record.
We're so used to these
I'll
traditional metrics.
see if he's in the public domain.
There you go. Check on that if you don't mind. We're used to traditional metrics of 300 wins, but wins we don't care about wins anymore. So what?
He's got the best K per 9 of I think anyone. In terms
of
when you set it to a certain number of innings pitched.
He's won 143 games. He's lost 87. His ERA is 3.02. He struck out 2,528 batters in 2,047 innings pitched. His career whip is 104, 1.049.
That's really good. That's really good.
It's real
to
good.
me, he's a Hall of Famer.
I don't think so yet.
What was CC's number?
I think he needs to have 220 wins.
I just don't think that the voters are going to – I think they're going to not even look at the win column moving forward. Really? Just because the way it's been completely de-emphasized.
CC had a 62 career WAR, 62.3, Sales at 55.8 right now. Sale to 3.02 ERA, 104 WHIP, as Stan said. CC had a 1.25 WHIP.
What was his win-loss, though?
CC's?
He won 235 games.
3.75 ERA and 250 wins, 160 losses.
I think Hall of Fame still is going to need well over 200 wins.
Sale was on the White Sox for so long, and I guess those White Sox weren't quite as bad as they are now.
Yeah, not this, obviously. I don't think that's going to be a factor moving forward. Let me I'm trying to pull up the
8-time All-Star.
The WAR number is interesting because
World
to the point,
Series.
it's nowhere. His career WAR is nowhere close to Verlander or Kershaw or Scherzer.
Right.
That would be the better argument to me would be.
But how old is he, Sale, now?
39, 38?
No, he's got to be 30.
36, sorry.
36.
Yeah, 36.
So at the moment,
another 3.
And that's here's
He'll be an Oriole when he's 40,
here's the best way to me to make the anti-argument is at the moment his career WAR of 55.8 is less than Tim Hudson, it's less than Frank Tanana, it's less than Cole Hamels, it's less than Mark Burley, it's less than Andy Pettit. It's
he's not there yet, but you put another 60 wins in there.
So if he averages 10 wins over the
60
next
wins that's
well, but if he plays 6 more seasons, he gets
that's a
10
different
wins.
conversation.
He won 18
if he
last
pitches
year.
into
He's
his
only
40s,
5
right?
and 4 this year. I'd say no at this point. But
Roy Halladay's career WAR 65.4.
I'm looking at his numbers. I just feel like he's better than CC
The K per 9 is the strongest argument.
Yeah.
The K per 9, and yes, obviously he's got I didn't realize CC's WAR or WHIP was 1.2. I mean, that's
1.25.
But how many games did CC start?
560.
Right. He's
Sale
at 307 right now.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So the longevity.
He's not a Hall of Famer yet.
But he's got he's more All-Star games than CC. He's won a World Series. They both have won a Cy Young.
It's an interesting discussion. I'm probably going to lean for different reasons. This is where we'll agree but disagree at the same time.
And Sale's got a Gold Glove.
The win stuff does nothing for me, but the actual totality of the accomplishment, I do think you're right that he is not yet a Hall of Famer, but he is
never won 20 games.
Dangerously
delicious.
Yes, that's the dangerously delicious pie. Shout out Rodney. Love you. Good for you.
Christian Campbell was optioned by the Red Sox this week, back to AAA after his they signed him to the 7 years, 8 years.
Did we get an update on
$80
Heston
million.
Kerstead, by the way, from last night?
He left.
That did not look good.
Yeah.
What was the? I did not see.
You didn't see that?
Fouled a ball off his knee.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it did not look good at all.
Brian Roberts said he did that once, and he hobbled around the next couple days, and then he said he started playing, but it bothered him for 6 months.
Really?
After that.
By the way, are we calling our guest, or is he calling us?
He was supposed to call us.
All right,
but I
maybe,
know that we can call him.
That's
anyway,
fine. What you want to get knocking anything quickly?
Let's see. So Campbell's gone. Stan, who you got in the College World Series this weekend?
Who's playing?
What? Did you see there was a no-hitter earlier this week in the College World Series? Just the third no-hitter ever in the College World Series.
And what
teams are Gage Wood from Arkansas,
Wood,
but then they turned around and lost to.
but what teams are in
I'll
it?
get there, Stan. I'm trying to set the scene for you here. That team's Arkansas. They're no longer in it. Coastal versus LSU. Coastal Carolina.
LSU.
Wow.
Mm.
The fighting Ben McDonogh.
Ben McDonald's going to be there.
Yeah, the other ones are Danny Santana and Tommy Pham were getting into it with fans.
I saw that. That was
separate altercations with fans. What's going
on in Pittsburgh, man? That is
they were in Detroit this week, so.
Oh, okay, all right. Still, it seems like a toxic.
Yes,
ball club.
People dropping off the
funniest thing. So earlier this season, there was a picture of Tommy Pham that was going around of him in his kind of workout stuff, and it was a couple hours before a game. It was him outside the stadium, and it looked like he was very clearly looking for his DoorDash guy.
Okay.
And this was a couple hours before the game.
Great.
This was outside of PNC Park.
Obviously, one of the big stories yesterday was what was happening at Dodger Stadium before the baseball game, where something was going on. The Dodgers say they didn't let ice on the grounds. They're like, that wasn't us. It was a weird day. Do you believe, one, that the Rays are actually going to be sold? And two, do you make anything of, there's a lot of rumors, the new owner apparently a Jacksonville guy.
Yeah.
There's some folks that believe
moving the team to Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
It could happen. I think the team will definitely be sold. I think Stuart Sternberg is
kind of over
it. Yeah.
Just like I've been
fought
through
a good
enough
battle there
right.
for a number of years, and those two communities, they somehow couldn't get it together.
They are spending the money to move back into the Dome, which is weird, and you try explaining that to somebody, like, why? Why would you be doing that? And apparently, it's just a legal proceeding that they have to do that.
Yeah.
So they're going to spend the money and move back in the Dome, but they still don't have a plan.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how you could be dismissive of a rumor about Jacksonville if that's something. It's a smaller market, so I don't know that it's desirable to.
This commissioner apparently doesn't mind smaller.
Certainly
markets.
doesn't appear concerned.
Minor league ballparks.
Doesn't appear to be concerned about.
I mean,
that.
a real commissioner could have handled that Oakland thing. Oakland was a market that shouldn't have been left. It really shouldn't have. He could have gone in there.
And done.
He needed to be more hands-on.
Maybe
with both the owner
needed
and
the
art
of the
governor.
deal, if you will. He needed
to bring Trump in.
That's all you needed to do there.
He could have solved it in one day.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. 2 weeks is more reason. Said in 2 weeks, everything will be taken care of. It's interesting to me. It's certainly something that I am. Every day there's not a solution in Tampa is every day that you think that at some point, there's going to have to be a solution somewhere, and so
maybe it'll bring back the Montreal-Tampa solution. That was a great idea.
They really nailed that one, didn't they?
Really,
They
yeah.
really. That was. I got an idea. They have 2 homes.
Right.
This is like the Costco guy. It's going to have hot dogs
Right.
and optometrists. We're going to have 1 team. They're going to be the Tampa Bay Rays and the Montreal Expos.
Right.
What? Yeah, hear me out. Now, hear me out,
It's
guys.
going to work. It's going to work.
Yeah. As I was
all
watching,
your players are going to have 2
two,
residents.
yes, correct,
you know.
and 2 tax
And,
systems, and just a nightmare of a scenario. I did watching the Orioles try to pitch outdoors this week in Tampa. Was, and I get it, it's hot in other places. I'm not trying to pretend like it's not hot in other places, but like the heat in Tampa outdoors in the summer, where they have to play the games at 7:30 because they're trying desperately
to
avoid the worst of the
right.
heat. But they still have to play like Sunday afternoons.
Right. Right.
God, that's going to be hell. It's hell in Baltimore on a Sunday afternoon in the summer.
This could be a new Roku thing. Maybe they could play Sundays at like 9 a.m.
6 a.m. Play
6
before the
a.m.
sun comes
Yeah.
up. Like legitimate.
Play like a late twilight doubleheader.
Hey, we do it in
to
London.
admission.
Right.
7:35 on Saturday night.
And then
2
and then you can
a.m.
spend the night at the ballpark.
Yeah.
You can take you can
have
nap
a
in your seat.
sleepover.
Yeah, right. And then stick around. We're gonna wake you up at 5:30 for the next game. It is hell, man. These outdoor games in Tampa here in the summer.
I got to tell you, I've always been a purist about sitting outside watching baseball.
I'll let you be the purist.
But at my age now, and I know that that's not who they're trying to appease.
Right.
But the Orioles have had the worst luck this season,
weather-wise, yeah.
Weather-wise.
Yeah.
And it makes me think, geez whiz, what is the cost of putting some type of roof on it?
It's this,
and I learned something when I talked to Steve Bisciotti like 10, 12 years ago about putting escalators in. He said they're too expensive to retrofit, and then suddenly 4 years later there were plans for escalators, right, at M&T Bank Stadium. Maybe in this day and age you could have some type of, it wouldn't be as expensive as the old roofs, and you could, I don't know, but I just, it's really, the weather has really become a problem.
100%. The Ravens continue every time they have a tour of here's the upgrade. Somebody asks, hey, are you thinking about?
Football's different because it's still, you got 9 dates. Baseball, you got
I agree
81
with that,
dates.
but yet we've all been there for those December, January games where we're like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
It's hell. I would rather just give my ticket away than doing this. And the Ravens continue to sort of, I roll my eyes at this. That's not how football works. We're in the AFC North. I'm like, okay, man.
Yeah.
Like, I win, I guess. It's like, keep winning. You better keep winning, man. You better keep doing that and win a Super Bowl, because you do that, then nobody cares. But
there's something romantic to me about football in the snow, that I love the visuals of that and knowing that these guys are out there, they're gladiators. Baseball, though, because it's daily, and you get one of these stretches at home, like next week, we got Texas coming in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Supposed to have 100 degrees at all 3 days.
Mm-hmm. That's hell. I mean, that's hell. Pure hell.
I think they should start the games at like 9
100%, right? Like, start them at 11. My God. Anything you can do. All right. Speaking of hot, that's what you all right over there?
No, I mean, I guess we'll
just
move on.
Yeah, we're just going to move on. That's all we can do. We're just going to have to move on. Speaking of hot, I'm planning on going to the PLL on Sunday, and it's going to be hot. It's
they
going
do
to
a
be
good job picking the
the hottest weekend. It's been all the weekends recently have been like overcast and 70 degrees, and all of a sudden the PLL comes to town and it's going to be 600 degrees outside.
Griffin, are you going to see the
I'm not sure if I'll be able to this weekend, unfortunately.
What do you got going on?
What are you talking?
What's going on in your world?
You're
I
like
got baseball that has been rained out for the past month and a half.
You're like you're like.
Wait, are you still showing up for the trivia playoffs?
Unfortunately, no. I'm not.
Oh, what the hell?
I know. I'm sorry.
That's it. We're screwed now.
Aren't you sort of like
Jack?
Jack, what do you got for trivia?
I'm at the beach. Sorry.
gonna be too hot for this.
I'd be at the PLL game and trivia.
Now, if
you know
there
I
is-
would.
I mean, we've had flash thunderstorms every time my baseball team has been scheduled to play, so there's still I feel like there's a non-zero chance.
Stan, you know anything about Africa?
Yeah.
All right, you want to come play in the trivia playoffs with us tomorrow?
No.
No. All right. Well, I appreciate you considering it, though.
What time is it?
It's at noon.
No,
Okay.
the Oriole game is 1:05.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
If it had been 4:05 like I thought,
Yeah,
I
then
would have
you'd
been
be
there.
in. You'd be in. All right, when we come back in, TJ Malone, reigning Rookie of the Year in the PLL. He's going to join us next, the Maryland Whipsnakes. It is a Friday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an easy pass from driveeasymd.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your EasyPass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your EasyPass account. There, you just saved money with EasyPass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your EasyPass at driveeasymd.com.
Baltimore's Classic 5 golf courses make golf fun and affordable. All 5 local courses, Pine Ridge, Mount Pleasant, Forest Park, Carroll Park, and Clifton Park, are challenging and fun for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time today at classic5golf.com.
Celebrate 60 years of America's favorite muscle car at Live Casino and win a new Ford Mustang. Earn entries daily and enjoy revved-up specials across our restaurants and bars all June. Cruise in Saturday, June 28th and be one of 25 players to win cool trips, hot prizes, or a new Ford Mustang. Hit the gas at Live Casino at Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, we celebrate the first ever Baltimore basketball player to reach the Naismith Hall of Fame as we talk to those who knew Carmelo Anthony best about how his Baltimore upbringing shaped his legendary career. Also inside, Bo Smoka profiles Ravens second-round pick Mike Green, and find our annual summer travel section with information on some of the best sporting events and activities in Maryland that your family can check out all summer long. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
Sorry, we're back. Apologies. We were having fun off the air, and Griffin's
Did you find
working.
your wallet?
Nope, sure haven't found my. I got a text from my wife. She looked around the house one more time, and she didn't find it either. So now I'm.
It's a call to
getting
Apple.
more and more nervous about that. Getting more and more nervous. Well, hey, why not cause problems? The reason I'm in this situation, the reason I was at Apple, is because my computer screen cracked.
Oh.
So I'm currently using my wife's computer, which is riddled with Candy Crush viruses, and it's 1,000 years old, and it's barely functional, and it's makes my life more difficult to have to use somebody else's computer. So why not add in can't find your wallet on top of that? Why not? Because Griffin's getting us kicked off. I'm sure he'll get right on that. Griffin's getting us kicked off of platforms. It's just a whole
Have I done anything this week to offend you?
Today, I would say so far it's been pretty. I mean, you wanted to fight me about man of the match, but other than that, like I would say, it's been a pretty decent week. Stan. That's what I would say. You asked off the air what I thought about Jair Alexander, and I said a couple times this week. At that number, makes total sense.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense. I was in favor of it as long as they didn't get into a bidding war. They definitively, the word is, they offered less than what particularly the Panthers offered, and he just wanted to be with Lamar, and so I'm good with that.
Lamar's his guy.
I'm completely okay with the idea of Jair Alexander being.
They look like they're loaded in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, provided health.
Yeah,
like it's always the thing. Whenever we do this, I'm
like pitching.
Yeah, right. You're like, yeah, it feels good today, and hopefully they stay healthy. And certainly, the irony being, like Jair Alexander is the one that we think is the biggest risk, and then this is football, so it might very well be that he plays the entire season while someone else who we're used to being healthy ends
He's
up.
at an age where he's still playing this year to try and get one more decent
You
contract.
would think
He's
that would
like
be the
28
case.
or
yeah,
29.
it's probably going to be hard for him to get like a 5-year deal
But
at
a
this point.
3-year
Yeah,
deal,
a real, 17, 15, maybe 17. Maybe that's too much, but something in the double digits for sure. Again, for 3 years, you would think would be what he would be in play for. So yeah, thumbs up is all I can say. On paper, it makes complete and total sense. What actually ends up happening, we will find out what actually ends up happening. I feel like I had one other thing for you. Oh, I do want to remind everybody today's show is brought to you by the Maryland 5-Star. It's back this October. Maryland 5-Star with a number 5. Maryland5star.us is the website. You get up to Cecil County, get up to Fair Hill, check out the Triple Crown of Equestrian. Check out the Food Festival, the Beer and Wine Festival, as well as the Corgi Cup, the ponies. There's just so much going on at the Maryland 5-Star.
That's your favorite is the Corgi.
I'm there for the Corgi Cup, 100%.
Yeah.
Maryland5star.us is the website for you to get your tickets to the Maryland 5-Star. This is from Joe. Joe says,
good old Joe.
I don't know this Joe, so I can't tell you if he's a good Joe or not a good Joe. I just know he is a Joe. Joe says, Glenn, one of the things that was interesting to me last night about watching the game was that at no point did I feel like they were safe. Is that because we're just used to the Orioles blowing things, or is that Joe? They lost one game. I mean, they've lost a lot of games, to be fair. But like, I don't know what the point is that you're trying to make here, Joe. I regret not vetting that question before I asked it. That's my fault.
Well, they blew a lot of games in April. I mean,
but like, do we think that this is a bad bullpen? Is that what we think?
They were in the first 6 weeks of the season. I mean,
I don't know that I think this is a bad bullpen as much as I think it's a
mixed bag.
But I kind of think that's what every bullpen is, right? Like, I don't think
the Cubs bullpen. They're not the Cubs bullpen.
Well, yeah, the Cubs have been really good. There's no doubt about that. God, the Cubs are just really good. Like, they're just insanely good.
Both PCA and I guess I should have put that on This Week in Baseball. Seiya Suzuki and PCA both have 60 RBI at this point. I think that might be that. They might be like 1 and 2 in all.
It's amazing that Tucker is not the leading RBI
and he's
guy.
still got like 50 RBIs. Yeah. Like they have 3 guys with over 50.
By the way,
RBIs.
did you make that trade for Wilmer Flores?
No, my the guy pulled it. He didn't take it.
Good, because
you want me to keep Sagano?
Yeah.
I still need RBIs though, so I kind of
no.
Oh,
but
Wilmer's
not
going
to
be the number 1 RBI guy now with Devers.
I don't think he'll play as much.
That's fair.
This is a reminder. Our friend John in Little Rock had a real tough. Nobody in America was sicker
Wednesday night
than John. Imagine you are from here.
Yeah.
You're a dyed-in-the-wool Orioles fan.
Right.
Oh, you don't know what happened in the Arkansas game. Now you live in Arkansas.
Now you live in Arkansas.
And you're a huge Razorbacks fan.
Okay.
They're playing in the College World Series in an elimination game. And they had a 5-3 lead. The same night, the Orioles blow the 8-0 lead. Arkansas has a 5-3 lead in the 9th inning. There's runners on first and second and 1 out. Ground ball to the shortstop. Should be a double play to end the game. Instead, for some reason, Shortstop throws the ball to third base. Gets 1 out. So now there's 2 outs still. Next ball, line drive to left field. Right at the left fielder.
Sails over his
Left
head.
fielder dives. It conks off his head.
Oh, God.
Tying run score. 1 batter later. Game-winning run scores. So our poor friend John in Little Rock.
Why did the shortstop go?
At first, everybody was like, well, yeah, probably was going to be hard to turn the double play. It's a speedy
but
runner.
You get
the point being, there's no benefit. The runner going to third base does not matter.
Right.
So if there's any chance of you turning the double play, you attempt to turn it.
Right.
And as we watched it more and more, we were like, yeah, there was probably a decent chance of you turning the double play. Oh,
The
it
only
was
thing that
rough.
would make that worse is if he had money on the Orioles.
Yeah, and on top of everything else. Hey, as I mentioned, I'm going to get out on Sunday to Homewood Field as it is Whipsnakes homecoming weekend in the PLL. 2 games tomorrow night. Whipsnakes will play in the second game, and 2 games on Sunday afternoon. Whipsnakes playing in the second game there as well. Joining us now, he is the reigning PLL Rookie of the Year, and he was the subject, Stan, in our annual Best Of issue of Press Box.
Right.
We do the best quotes of the year,
Uh-huh.
and one of the best quotes of the year last year was not from him, but it was about him. It was from Whipsnakes coach Jim Stagnita, who I asked about how they ended up getting TJ Malone in the 3rd round of the draft. And do we have it, Griffin? This is what Jim Stagnita said about his fall in the draft.
With other people's choices, I texted my staff, when we were at 15, I said, holy shit, I think we're going to get Malone. And, when Chris
favorite
Bates
quote. It was so good. Joining us now, holy shit, they got him.
Is there any chance Malone knows where your wallet is?
Yeah, right. Not only did they get him, it turns out he was that good and better.
Yeah.
He is TJ Malone of the Maryland Whipsnakes. He's with us here on GCR. TJ, it's Glenn and Stan in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Glenn and Stan, yeah, great to be here. Appreciate you guys having me on. I'm really honored to be here.
Hey, man, it's great to chat with you. Were you as pissed off about falling in the draft last year? And did that lead to, you just being the greatest player in the world immediately when you step foot on the field?
I wouldn't say that, but I appreciate the kind words. But I think, honestly, people have asked me this before, but I was very thankful to get onto a good team versus being drafted high.
Yeah.
I think a lot of players, if they get drafted high, they might not be on the best fit, or they might not be the best fit for that team. And I think for me, the Whipsnakes, even talking to some friends before the draft, was, hey, I think you'd be the best fit on the Whipsnakes. They're looking for an ex-attackman. They need someone to carry the ball. You would be a perfect fit. And I was like, oh, well, I think the Cannons are projected to get me 1st round, but, we'll see. Turns out, go to the Whipsnakes in the 3rd round. So it honestly ended up working out perfectly. So I'm just thankful that I got on a good team that could use me, and I was able to fit into that offense right away versus maybe being on a team that I got drafted high to, but maybe not being the best fit for my playing style.
We were talking, my buddy Adam Patra. I don't know if you know. I'm the play-by-play guy at Loyola, so I've known Adam for forever.
Yeah, Potsy.
Yeah, so we're talking to him about this yesterday, and he gave some good perspective because I think it jumped out at everybody how quickly the entire rookie class was able to assimilate. And everyone was impactful last year. Obviously, you were Rookie of the Year, but Ajax was incredible. And Adam,
right,
who we didn't even know there was a roster spot for, immediately settled in. What did it say about the team, the group of guys that you walked into, that it was able to work out so quickly for all of you last year and lead to that run to the championship?
Yeah, I think first of all, it starts with the leadership that we have on the team, from the coaching staff to the captains, because they're the ones that welcomed us with open arms. And instead of them seeing us as, oh my gosh, these young kids, they're pretty good, they might take our spots, it was, no, these young kids are pretty good, we're going to need them if we want to win a championship. And I think that perspective and having them was huge for us, because they welcomed us with open arms, and we were just able to step in and not try to do too much, but also know that we needed to perform. And we weren't expected to play like rookies. We're expected to play like Whipsnakes lacrosse players, whether we were in the 10th year in the league or the 1st year in the league. So I thought they did such a great job of handling that. And they prove to do it every year, and we have some really great rookies this year stepping up big time. And so it's just awesome to see, specifically Shmoo, Christian Mazur, the Army pick, and then first-round pick Aiden Carroll. They're both two players that we're going to need to lean on. So I think Coach Stagg says it well, is your rookie status is over at training camp. Once you get past training camp, you're just a member of this team. So you better step up because we need you, and that's why you're here.
TJ, congratulations on a great season, in your inaugural rookie season. I just wanted to ask you, I know this is your first year. They went to geographical designations for the teams last year. So this is second year. Do you have a sense from just being a lacrosse junkie that's working a little bit, that the fans are connecting a little bit more with their teams?
Yeah, great question. I personally love it because I'm actually a Baltimore native. I
didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I only lived here for a couple of years, so I can't claim that I grew up here. But I was born in GBMC Hospital.
Really?
So, yep. And I love playing in Baltimore, and even when I was in high school, when we'd come down and play Baltimore teams, being from the Philadelphia area, my dad and I would always drive by our old house, which was pretty special.
That's cool,
and knowing
man.
that Baltimore is, it's just really cool to play in the city, especially also that I'm born in the city. But I think you're right. I think because there's no home designations full time yet, we don't have players living in market. I don't know how much it's caught on, and I think the goal is to get to players to be living in home market, to have players in Baltimore all year round, training, practicing. And I think once that happens, I think it's going to spark an even bigger kind of loyalty to the home fan base. But because you go to these tournaments and you see kids that are from Philadelphia area wearing, Whipsnakes lacrosse, or they're wearing Chaos lacrosse, and it's not necessarily all Water Dogs fans, where if you go to Philadelphia and if you see any other jersey than an Eagles jersey, you get a beer thrown at you. So I don't think the loyalty level is there yet, but I hope it can get there.
That's cool, man. I had no idea that you were born in Baltimore. That's awesome. I mean, obviously, I know you still have a lot of connections with Philly, but that's really, really cool. TJ Malone is with us ahead of Whipsnakes homecoming weekend this weekend. TJ, I guess let me follow up on that, though. Like, this is the weekend, right? Like, if you were playing for another team, I'm sure you'd know. Like, there's no better atmosphere that you guys get, and the electricity. And I know, you played against Hopkins in the Big Ten, but like, there's nothing quite like playing at Homewood Field and what you're going to see when you're here this weekend. With no disrespect to any of the other markets in the league.
Agreed. And Homewood being probably the most historic lacrosse field of all time, it's pretty special to be playing here, playing 2 games in front of the Baltimore crowd. So we're super, super excited for it, and we know that we need to bring our A game because we have a great fan base that we want to perform well for.
TJ, I'm going to ask you this question. I hope you're not offended by it, right? But you come up in conversations sometimes when I just talk generically about lacrosse, the sport, because you're not the most physically imposing like, we see some guys that are like 6'4", 6', we're like, okay, I understand why that guy's great, right? Like, he's just built different. You're 5'11", 185 pounds. And yet you're unbelievable. Where does this come from for you? How do you make up the difference that some guys have as an advantage physically? Where does it come from for you that you've been able to become this type of player despite not having that type of physically imposing gifts?
Yeah, I do not take offense to it at all, and I actually would credit. To answer the question, I think it's IQ, just understanding the game, understanding the flow of the game more than your teammate, more than your opponents. And I think what initiated it for me was when I was a pretty athletic lacrosse player in college, and then I got 2 hip surgeries, and I kind of came out of the hip surgeries not as powerful, explosive as I was before, and I kind of had to relearn how to play the game, and I really took a lot of inspiration from some NBA guys, specifically like Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson, and those guys are not the most physically imposing either, especially Jalen Brunson. He's small, not super strong, and he was an MVP candidate this year, and it's like, how? And so I try to study the players that you would not expect to be good, that the results speak for themselves, versus studying a player like LeBron, where it's like you said, it's
Right.
okay, obviously
Just look
he's
at him.
going to
Yeah.
be great.
He looks like a linebacker, right, or a tight end. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think trying to take inspiration from other sports and incorporate it into the sport, but into lacrosse, and I think a big part of it was, for me, when I was recovering from my hip surgeries, I made it a point to watch as much film as I could. And even while in college, I had a friend, Grant Ament, give me his login to the PLL film account. So I was able to watch every single PLL game and break that down. And just because I knew I wasn't going to be able to get the physical reps of practicing, but I could improve my understanding of the game and improve upon my IQ even when recovering. So I think when I came back, I was even a much better player than before, despite not having the same kind of first step or explosion that I had before.
That's cool, man. That's really cool to hear, like, the way that you were in the lab. And obviously it's paid off big time. There's no doubt about it.
It really has, yeah. And I think if anything, it extended my lacrosse career too, because I'm learning how to play the game smarter.
Wow.
And not put myself into positions that, people could get their head chopped off or get injured or just even make a turnover. So try to play as smart as possible.
It's awesome, man. Go ahead, Stan.
TJ, I know that you played at Penn State, and I know Penn State's been pretty good the last few years, but when you committed to Penn State, they weren't really a lacrosse powerhouse yet, were they?
They were certainly competitive.
They were
it's fair,
getting
right?
there. What lured you to Penn State?
Yeah, I actually have an interesting recruiting path. I was committed to a Division III school, Amherst College, before I committed to Penn State, and I did not receive really any D1 looks. And I had a great senior year, and the Penn State Coach Tambroni, came to one of our games, maybe a couple of our games, and because their season was over, actually. Like you said, they had missed the playoffs, and he was out on the road recruiting, and he kind of saw me play, and I think sparked an interest and was like, hey, I mean, I know this kid's going D3, but they don't sign any papers. Maybe we could get him. And so that's kind of how it all started. I went on a visit, and we had a couple great guys in Chris Sabia, Grant Amen, and John Nostrand, who were Haverford lacrosse players that went and played at Penn State and all had great success early on. And seeing that was, wow, okay, I mean, maybe this is a great spot to be. So for me, I wasn't a highly touted recruit at all, and I kind of took what I got, and it ended up being the best decision ever.
Man, that's really cool. I didn't know that was it. Like, that's a really cool story. It worked out for everybody involved. So that was a win-win. TJ, being around Rob this year, right? Like, what has that meant to you? What have you soaked in from him? How special has it been to learn from, like, truly one of the icons of the sport?
Yeah, Rob is incredible. Certainly a Hall of Famer. And so playing against probably, you could argue, the greatest ex-lacrosse player of all time. And that's a position that I'm trying to get better at. So kind of learning how he plays and trying to add his skill set into my skill set. I think we're pretty different players, but you can still incorporate tons of things, and I'm always asking him questions. And he, being a veteran, is always trying to help the younger guys. So I really appreciate his mentorship. And for training camp, we roomed together. So it was just great. I never really had a relationship with him before this year. So kind of opening up to me and just kind of mentoring me has been really great.
That's so cool, man. That is so cool. All right, tomorrow night, there's a game in the afternoon.
What time are the games?
So tomorrow, the first game is New York, Philadelphia. That's at 4. And then Whipsnakes Cannons tomorrow night at 7 at Homewood Field. And then Sunday, Archers Outlaws at noon. And then Whipsnakes Chaos at 2:30. So get to it, PremierLacrosseLeague.com, in order to get your tickets for this weekend, homecoming weekend for the Whipsnakes, and it's going to be electric. And then, TJ, where are you on social? Where can folks be giving you a follow? Twitter, Instagram, anywhere like that?
Yeah, so I'm only on Instagram, but my handle is TJ Malone 1. Folks can see me there. I try to I actually have an account linked in my bio that kind of links to a lot of featured articles I've been in and featured podcasts. So if folks want to learn more about me, that's kind of the best place to go.
That's awesome. TJ, you're a hell of a player, man. It's so cool to watch you, and looking forward to this weekend. I'm going to be bringing my kids out on Sunday. They're fired up about it.
Wow.
So thank you for spending some time with us this morning, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, let's definitely try to link up after the game, and would love to meet you guys.
Oh, man, that's really kind of you. Thank you,
Continued
TJ.
good luck, TJ.
All right, man.
All right.
See you, buddy. My poor Alex. Alex is, of course, a lacrosse player.
Yeah.
Like, Alex is more excited about when we do lacrosse content than when
Yeah.
we do. Like, Brian Baker was on the show this week. And
Right,
Alex
he
is
could've
like,
cared
"No,
less
no,
about
I don't care about that. But whenever we do lacrosse, like, we had Rob Pinnell and Matt Rambo in studio a couple weeks ago, and he was grinning ear to ear. And so TJ Malone's like, yeah, I want to hang out. And Alex like, go to the beach. Can't do it. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, that's just the way that it works, man. Sorry, that's the way it goes. All right, you ducking out?
I'm going to duck out.
At Stan the Fan, of course, is how you follow him. Monday, you're back in action.
Yep, Monday back in action, and then Thursday we're recording another Drawing a Crowd
with Terry Hasseltine.
Hasseltine.
I don't know what's going on with me. All of a sudden, I can't talk. I was about to say Harry Tasseltine. I don't know what the hell's happening over
He's a great guy, too.
He's okay.
Harry
He's
Hasseltine.
okay. He's okay.
He's no Terry Hasseltine.
No doubt about it. Thank you, sir.
Good luck with your wallet.
Yeah.
keep me updated.
Could get really nervy around
Sure
here.
this isn't
Yeah,
it?
I think you're.
Sure
Yeah,
this isn't it?
that one's not mine. That one, unfortunately,
Look
is
at that
not
car
mine.
again.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to look everywhere
An
again.
apple.
Yeah, gonna have to make a trip over.
All right. Talk to you later.
Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you. That's Stan the Fan joining us in the studio. As we wind down for a Friday edition and for the week here on GCR, one other event that's going on this weekend here in Baltimore, the Big Three is coming to CFG Bank Arena, and for the first time, they're playing as home teams. And our next guest, someone who we've had the opportunity to chat with a few times over the years, is part of the DMV trilogy. He is, of course, the pride of McDonogh, Baltimore's own DaJuan Summers, and he's back with us now here on GCR. DaJuan, it's Glenn. It's great to catch up with you again, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, DaJuan, we talked before the event last year. I wonder if you could put into words, 'cause I was there, and it was incredible. The atmosphere was amazing. But for you, playing at CFG Bank Arena, playing in Baltimore, what that meant to you, to your family, to your friends, can you kind of put into words what that experience was like?
It's really tough to put it into words. I mean, obviously it was overwhelming in some ways, just joy and, nervousness and wanting to win and wanting to perform well. But overall, it's just a very positive thing for me. It's a full circle, to come back home to be playing for the DMV trilogy, having played at home for a team that represents Baltimore and, probably over a decade, over 15 years. So, it's just an overwhelming feeling. I'm very proud and grateful and excited to be back home.
I feel like you're probably the guy, because I'm sure you've heard from some people, because there's a whole thing where Baltimore, like, we don't like being considered part of the DMV, but you, of course, because you're from here and then you played at Georgetown, like, there's maybe a little bit more connection. Does that make it a little bit cooler for you that it is DMV?
Yeah, it does. It makes it cooler for me. I feel like I'm the merger because I am from Baltimore, West Baltimore. Yeah. I did go to school at Georgetown, so the DMV is a very special place when it comes to basketball. So we have a lot of basketball legends there.
Yep.
But I'm just grateful to be a part of it and to represent for my city.
The part where like Steven Jackson is like an icon in basketball, right? Like and obviously has grown this like entire new life now as a media personality. What's he like as a coach? What's that relationship been like for you? And what have you maybe learned from that being around him?
Stack is probably one of the most genuine people that I've met,
wow.
In basketball. He's very passionate, as everybody knows, but I don't think the part of him that people get to see is just how caring and passionate and loving he is. Like, to us as his players, he's always supportive. He's not beating us down if we miss shots or if we make mistakes on defensive assignments or offensive assignments for that matter. So he has a wealth of basketball knowledge that we all pull from. And me, myself, Earl Clark, and Isaiah, we're all kind of similar size, so he can give us little pointers about how he approached the game. So, I mean, he's just been incredible thus far, and I've known him over the years, but this is my first time playing for him.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool, right? Like, I didn't know that about Steven Jackson. That is a really, really cool thing. We're chatting with DaJuan Summers here on GCR. Of course, the Big Three at CFG Bank Arena on Sunday. DaJuan, I now that you've done this for a few years, right, in the Big Three, your impressions when you decided to make the jump, and it obviously being such a very different thing, what is it like now? Does it feel second nature to you, like playing 3-on-3? Is it almost a point where you're like, wow, I could do this forever? Like, is there how has the reality of it matched with what your expectations were when you decided to jump and join and play in the Big Three?
It's pretty much how I expected it to be. I knew some of the guys prior to coming into the league, and, we're all similar as far as size. Like, again, myself, Earl Clark, Dante Green, I definitely want to give him a shout-out. He's not in the league this year, but I feel like he deserves to be. That's my brother.
I love that dude. He's one of my favorite humans on the planet, man.
Yeah, man, I love Tay. That's my brother, man. And, we battled a lot in high school, but over the years in our professional careers, we've become very close. And, just as far as the league goes, it's a lot of spacing, so guys who can dribble, shoot, and do everything on the floor, it really benefits us. It helps us highlight our game. So I think that's the biggest element is just being able to sit down and guard guards and guard bigs and be ready to switch and have whatever the game presents to you, be ready to, to take it on.
Is Michael Beasley the greatest one-on-one basketball player on the face of the planet right now?
Man, I know that's a hot subject right now, but I mean, I love Bees, but I can't say that he's the best one-on-one player in the world right now. It's just so many great players.
Yeah.
I mean, Bees is definitely a phenomenal one-on-one player, but, shout out to Carmelo. I seen he responded about it, and I would love to see that matchup, but I would have to give it to Melo. He's just bigger. He's stronger. He has a tool bag of a skill set. And Joe Johnson is another guy in the Big Three who's also a phenomenal one-on-one player. So, with so many great talents around the world, it's just tough to claim somebody as a one-on-one. I know the media loves to spin things and kids run with it, but I mean, it's tough to crown someone with that title.
I mean, the man's name is literally ISO Joe, right? Like, come on, dude.
Right.
What are we doing here? You bring up Melo. Actually, we got a new a magazine that's available now, a press box that's celebrating Melo going to the Hall of Fame this summer. I wonder for you, right? Like, this is the first Baltimore basketball player ever going into the Hall of Fame, and it's not like we didn't know Melo's greatness before now or anything like that. But does that, mean anything to you? Like, does it register that for the first time ever, there's going to be a Baltimore baller that's going to be in the Hall of Fame?
Man, it's again, just like you asked me previously about what it felt like to come home and play, as far as it being overwhelming and not having the words. For Melo to be in the Hall of Fame as a Baltimore native, man, it's just it's phenomenal. Like, I really can't put words on it. I'm very proud of him. I'm happy for him. Melo popped out last year to the Big Three game, so I got to chop it up with him. And I did spend some time in New York during my career, so I was actually teammates with Melo for a little while. But man, I feel he deserves it. He's basketball royalty in Maryland, and just obviously now in the world. And I think it puts a better lens on us for our talent in Baltimore and just our love of the game. A lot of people in Baltimore love basketball, and I think Melo being inducted into the Hall of Fame kind of it shows that for us.
It's funny because you're a little bit closer to contemporaries with Melo, right? Like, you're not in the group of guys that maybe was influenced the same way. But did you notice that, like, because of what he accomplished, did you feel any of the ripple effects of what we know how it is for, like, we always talk about there's sort of a chip on your shoulder mentality for basketball players in our city because it's so often overlooked. Like, DC and New York and Philly get all the attention. But did you sense what it meant for him to have the success that he did for other guys that came along after you guys to believe, like, oh, I can do this too. Did you get a sense of that?
Absolutely. I mean, Melo, he was a motivation for me. And Melo's not much older than me, like you said, with contemporaries, more so peers than anything. But he is older than me. And I remember watching him at Towson Catholic. And, I remember when he went to the championship game at Syracuse. And I got to see him up close. Like, we think we were at Cloverdale in Baltimore. He was playing some one-on-ones and just playing. And he really inspired me to be a forward to play inside and out, because when I was growing up in Baltimore, being at my size, they wanted to stick you underneath the basket.
100%.
You had to be a rebounder, you had to be a body, you just was banging. And so seeing Melo's silky smooth jump shot and knowing I had the ability to shoot gave me the confidence to take those shots in the game and then put the ball on the floor and just attack the game in different ways. Him and Rudy also. Rudy Gay also, another person who inspired me. So both of those guys, I spoke about them when I was drafted as far as comparisons and who were my motivations, and that still rings true to this day. And, again, Rudy popped out last year to the Big 3 game. I hope we see Melo and Rudy this weekend, but I can't put it into words, the magnitude and the impact that those two guys have had on my life and my career and my confidence as far as my skill set as it comes to playing basketball.
Are you now, like, are you able to, like, you're hanging out with your boys and they're like, hey, man, you know Ice Cube? Are you able to, like, just FaceTime him? Like, are you guys that close? Like, can you just, like, hey, bro, I need you to talk to my boy for a second. He doesn't believe that I know you.
Yeah, I mean, we are that close. I can call Melo. I have Melo and Rudy's number, but I would never bother them.
No, I meant with Ice Cube, with Cube.
With Cube.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm cool with Cube. I
Okay.
see Cube every weekend, obviously. We have a good relationship. I speak to him. He, gives me advice. I'll ask him some things.
That's
but,
cool.
I would never call him and do that to him. It would be disrespectful to our relationship.
I appreciate that. Hey, DMV Trilogy against the Boston Ball Hogs, 2 o'clock on Sunday at CFG Bank Arena. Of course, games all day at CFG Bank Arena, starting at 1 on CBS, and then some of the later games are going to be on Vice. I'm telling you, I went out last year. The atmosphere is amazing. Live music, the DJ. There's just it's a really cool entertainment day beyond just the high level of basketball that you're going to see. DaJuan, can you remind everybody how they can be following you on social media?
Yes, my Instagram handle is DSummersTime, and that's my handle on most social media, X and TikTok as well. So that's where you can find me on social media, guys, anybody looking to follow.
And then who you got on Sunday night? Who's winning Game 7?
Oh, man, that's tough, man. I knew it would go Game 7 when the Pacers won the first game because I didn't expect them to do that. And I don't think many of us expected them to be in the finals. So it's tough to make a prediction, but I'll have to go with OKC. They've been a strong team all season. And, I just think it's their time. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers win.
We've all kind of, like, not taken the Pacers seriously the entire – and here they are. They're in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Like,
it's amazing, man.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, it's truly incredible how they've done this. And so I think I'm with you. Like, yeah, OKC's at home. I do think they're the better team. So, yeah, I think they're going to win. But, like, I can't doubt the Pacers at this point.
Yeah. At this point, I don't think anybody should doubt them. They've earned the respect around the league and, just in the basketball world. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to a great game. I hope it's close. I hope it's not a blowout. I don't hope anybody quits on themselves in the game. I'm just looking forward to seeing all of the moving parts of the game and the competition.
DaJuan, awesome to see you playing back home again this weekend, man. Really appreciate you taking the time for us and hope to do it again real soon. Thanks so much, man.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
DaJuan Summers, Pride of McDonogh, with us here on GCR. Appreciate him taking the time for us. And, yeah, a lot going on in Baltimore. Obviously, the Orioles aren't home this weekend, but a lot happening otherwise. I love that for us. That is a good thing for particularly a weekend where the Orioles aren't home, for there to be options for you, for your family, for area businesses to be making money. These are good things. We love to see it. Appreciate DaJuan Summers taking the time for us. All right, so now we've reached that point And here to perform End of the Road by Boys to Men, I give you intern Jake. Hit it.
I don't even know what that song
Oh,
is.
God.
I'm sorry.
Damn it.
I'm so sorry.
It's one of the greatest songs of all time. I can't sing like Boys to Men, so I don't even know if I should attempt to do the silly version. To the end of the road, still I can't let go. It's unnatural. Yeah,
on,
get in
help
here.
him out. Help him out,
Belong
Jake.
to
Come on.
me.
What's the song called? Let me look up.
Oh, forget it. The
Road
time
to
is
Man.
gone. End of the
Time.
road.
End
End
of
of
road.
the road.
End of time,
By
yeah, yeah.
Boys to God.
End of the road.
Did you read a book or something? Would you guys? You don't know music. You don't know anything until you slow dance with a girl to Boys to Men.
Yeah, you're right. We have not done that.
You've
So
accomplished
I
nothing
can
in your
say
lives.
that I
Nothing in your lives has
unfortunately
mattered.
haven't been able to do
if
that
you didn't
yet.
slow dance at your 8th grade dance, the young lady to Boys to Men. Oh, singing
God, that
just
hurts.
completely in age
Songs we had to
inappropriate
slow dance
songs.
to were terrible.
Yeah, I
Sam
actually
Smith.
we actually had this conversation a couple years ago on the show. I like started. I'm like, what do young people slow dance to now? Because there's no way it's as good as Boys to Men.
Drake.
What? You
Drake.
slow dance to Drake?
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
I'm like, what the hell?
Did we?
What do
I
you
don't-
slow
I
dance
didn't.
to?
It
What?
was definitely Sam Smith.
Probably that stupid Ed Sheeran song.
Yeah, I think that was definitely one of them.
That song sucks. And what was the Sam Smith song that you were slow dancing to?
I forget. But it was.
Because
didn't like
I don't.
it.
I like Sam
like, it
Smith
was-
fine.
it was-
I like him fine. He's talented. I mean, like I'm not anti Sam Smith, but I don't think you were slow dancing to.
Stay with me, maybe. Yeah, stay with me. That sounds. I think that's.
yeah.
I think that was definitely one.
It ain't Boys to Men, dog. It ain't Boys to Men. Listen to me. There is nothing like slow dancing to Boys to Men. Nothing. You could in that moment, you could walk on water. Like there is nothing that compares to it. All right. I'm assuming you did, however, prepare your presentation of what you learned during your time here at Glenn Clark Radio, of what you're going to take with you for the rest of your life.
I can ad-lib it. I can wing it.
Well, act like you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, maybe don't say I'm ad-libbing it or winging it. Maybe part of
I
part of ad-libbing is just rolling with it, improving.
Biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
I learned that
boy.
UFC
This
does not
is-
mess around.
This is bad. This is really
like
bad.
we all
That's-
everything was
that's-
good
that's
until
what he learned.
until we did one
That's
UFC
what he
clip.
learned.
Yeah.
That's what he learned.
is good, 'cause
Well, that wasn't the only problem, actually. There was another problem that, admittedly, I was not aware of.
Oh,
I wasn't aware of it either.
Yeah.
We'll just have to sing it next time.
You slow dance to that song. Yeah.
That would be. I'd be down for that. That was
the slowest.
Griffin, absolutely. I'm telling you, when I was a freshman at
play my song.
When I was a freshman at UMBC, I had not been much of a soccer fan growing up. But my roommate, Matty Sines, was on the soccer team. I have a joke about it with Pete Caringi years later. And he was like, "Were you the reason why I was always showing up hungover?"
Were you?
I wasn't a non-factor.
Yeah.
I wasn't the
college roommates.
Our freshman year, Busta Rhymes played Quad Mania at UMBC, and I don't think I've ever been more effed up in my life. But I did, true story, make out with Miss Jewish Maryland that night. So,
Hey.
so one of the highlights of my life. So I was not a big soccer fan at that point in my life, but he and all the guys on the team were, of course, obsessed soccer fans. And so this is when they still did the Champions League final on like a Tuesday afternoon. Like they didn't do it on a Saturday. They didn't remove it 2 weeks after the
Kinda like
season.
that. My freshman, whatever the Champions League final was, my freshman year, I remember it being really good, and I was like late. That like I had like a 5 p.m. class, and I was like a couple minutes late because I wanted to watch the end of the Champions League final because it was actually really good.
So I knew like nothing about the Champions League at all, and I remember like his buddies, some of the guys on the soccer team, like in like January, were starting to make plans for the party we were going to throw for the Champions League final.
At 3 o'clock on.
And I'm like, we're doing what now? Like, what is this thing?
So
and
you didn't want to have a party?
I was cool with that. That's the only reason why I was
Never say no to a party.
engaging in the conversation. But like we were putting an awful lot of effort into an event that was going to occur in May, like at the end of the school year. And so I was like, what are we doing here? Like, what is going on? Because I didn't even know what it was. And I remember saying something like, you guys are acting like this is the Super Bowl. And I wish I could remember what it is. I think the guy's name was Derek. This guy like grabs me by the neck. It's like, Glenn, because he was from I don't know where he's from.
Scotland,
maybe.
Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn. You wanker. This is far more important than the Super Bowl.
What year was this? I want to figure out what final this was.
It would have been 2002. It would have been, this is my freshman year of college, so it would have been 2002. But we didn't know who was in it at the time. Like, it was just whatever the Champions League final
was going to be.
Whatever it was going to be.
It was a good one. Leverkusen and Real Madrid.
Okay, that's a decent Champions League final. And like, man, I was skipping classes because I was hooked. So like the semifinals, I was like skipping classes to just hang out with the guys and watch the Champions League matches those afternoons.
So it's like their March Madness.
Glasgow too.
Yeah, we threw a shit kicker. Like we got in trouble.
3 first half goals. Final was 2-1 Madrid.
I couldn't have told you any of that.
Doesn't remember it.
Yeah, but I remember how emotional Derek got about that. Like when he started explaining the Champions League music to me. Again, going back to like February, and he would sing it and he would download it on Napster or whatever, so he could just play it in the apartment at all times or in the dorm. We were not living in an apartment.
Napster.
We were doing. Oh man,
what is that?
Yeah. the amount of porn viruses I had on my computer.
Well, at least those were worth it.
I specifically remember like a day before the end of the semester going to Derek and saying, "Dude, you're gonna have to learn how to take everything off that computer in case my father looks at it when I get home." But yeah, like we would like in the morning when we woke up, they would just blast the Champions League theme.
That was the alarm.
Like it was like the pump up song for the day. Like the whole thing. It was a wild time. Did you actually learn anything from your time? Are you actually going to take anything or?
Oh yeah, I learned how to do the soundboard, running stream labs.
I was looking for something more global, like about the experience.
Oh, media.
Just anything about like I learned how to challenge myself. I'm looking for something.
I learned Glenn's
global.
not a baseball fan.
Yeah, there you go.
Or a hockey fan.
That's good. That's what we got out of this semester. That's what we got out of this semester.
Yeah.
Oh, Stan's gone. I'm taking Charlie Morton down. All due respect.
Ridiculous. Well, you just be there
I
full
agree.
time.
No. Anything else you have to say about yourself?
I mean, learning stuff about myself.
All right, we tried.
Yeah.
We tried. That was this went about as well as New England. This went.
This is all I got.
And when we put together the highlight reel, the montage
lowlights
of Alex Stein here at GCR, this is going to be right up there with some of the highlights. Thank you for all of your hard work.
Of course.
And for everything that you've done. We hope that you understand how much it meant to us. We would like to present you. Griffin, do you have the...
No.
Do you have the...
I think so, yeah.
You got the giant cartoonish check, right?
No, I don't, but we got you these.
That's just as good.
One of the mealworms.
Just as good.
You know what? If you want a mealworm, you can have
there
one.
You
You
go.
can have one mealworm.
For all your hard work, John got you some fries yesterday. That's what we've got.
No, but thank you guys for having me.
Yes,
I've
thank
had
you
a
for
great
your
time.
hard work. And
you
who
guys are
knows?
fun.
Who knows? Maybe you'll be seeing Alex pop up from time to time. Maybe that'll
You'll just
be
have
the
to stay
case.
tuned.
We will see how that goes. All right. You want to get a tidbit?
Yeah, sure.
Tidbit is brought to you today by County Sports Zone, countysports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Everything you need to know. They'll keep you updated all summer long. Any news related to high school sports in the state of Maryland, they've got you covered at County Sports Zone.
One pitcher through MLB history, through their first 39 career starts, has recorded 275 strikeouts.
Stan really clings to wins, doesn't he? He's like going down with the ship. Like, it's got to be wins.
Sale's a Hall of Famer. I think
I don't
today,
think he is yet.
Today.
I don't think he is yet. I think there would be an argument and he would have a chance, but I don't think he's definitively a Hall of Famer yet.
He's better than Tim Hudson.
Okay, well, he's not by WAR.
I mean, all right. Well, yeah, he was on a bad team.
I understand, but
WAR
does not.
He did lose a lot of games.
You're talking about that does not impact your WAR. Wins and losses don't go into WAR.
What's Skeens? Should I just give away the answer to this tidbit? But yeah,
Okay.
what's Skeens' WAR already?
I don't know.
First pitcher Paul Skeens is after yesterday 275 strikeouts and a sub-2 career ERA through his first 39 starts.
How about that?
No one else
How about it?
in baseball history there. Nick Kurtz hit a walk-off home run last night for the A's off of Josh Hader and the Astros. He became the fifth player in MLB history with 2 walk-off home runs in a calendar month, in a single month, at age 22 or younger.
Oh, I'm so sure.
Can you name the most recent one?
Get the entire F out of here.
1978. This would have been better with Stan around because Stan might have actually seen it.
1978.
Because he was an Oriole.
And he was under 22?
Yes. He was 22 or younger.
Eddie Murray?
Eddie Murray.
Okay.
The last time that this happened, 2
All right.
walk-offs in a single month as a 22-year-old or younger. So Nick Kurtz joins Eddie Murray, and of course 1961, June Tommy Davis.
Oh, June Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1958, July Frank Robinson. You might get that one.
Oh, I thought you're suggesting his name was June Tommy Davis.
June Tommy.
I thought that. I legitimately thought that's what you were saying.
I was losing it for a second.
Right.
June.
Yes.
Tommy Davis.
June of 1961 is normally. We don't normally say 1961 June.
But we
That's
do
not-
call.
no.
But we do call Frank Robinson 1958 July Frank Robinson.
Is that
right?
what we do?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
And then in 1889, we should call him June Jake Beckley. June Jake Beckley.
Oh, June Jake. I legitimately thought that was his name. I
can understand.
It's like
now
June
why
Tommy.
you would think that.
I love that guy.
Jake Beckley of 1889.
Sure. Okay.
I'm trying to see if there was any others here. Then I'll do the. I talked about Suzuki and Pete Crow Armstrong. There are 6 players with 60 RBI this season. Can you name the other 4 with 60 RBI already this point in the
Cal
season?
Raleigh.
Cal Raleigh is actually. Oh yeah, he does. He is 60. I thought he was at 59.
It's quite the swerve there.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously.
Raleigh, no.
Obvious. I swear to God, this is what Griffin just did. Yes, Cal Raleigh is obviously a correct answer, except it's not incorrect because it's correct.
Cal Raleigh.
That was an adventure on
the
that
list.
one.
60 RBI this season.
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge, also 60 RBI this season.
What are we doing? How about
you're missing the top 2 guys.
How about
63 and 62 respectively.
How about Shohei Ohtani?
No. Shohei Ohtani leads the league in another category.
Sucks.
Do you know what Shohei leads in right now?
He leads in doubles.
No. Let's see who's leading the league in doubles.
He leads in.
Not Shohei.
I don't know. What does he lead the league in?
Runs scored.
Okay.
He has like 75 or something.
Good for
73.
him.
73 runs
good
scored
for old
Shohei.
Shohei. RBI. How about Schwarbo?
Schwarber, no. 54 for Schwarber.
Sucks.
16 guys with 50 RBI this season, if you want to name them.
How about Corbin Carroll?
Not Corbin Carroll. There is a Diamondback, though.
Eugenio
Suarez, 62 RBI, second most in baseball.
Hey, you can jump in whenever you want,
Who's
Jake.
got the most RBI?
Whenever you want to jump in,
Name
you
a baseball
you
player,
get right
Jake.
in that. Yeah, any baseball
Prove
player.
you learned something.
Chipper Jones.
You know what? This is why he loves Drew.
Yeah,
This is the problem. He loves Drew, man. He just wants to be.
Chipper Jones.
He just wants to be like his idol. He just wants to be like his guy.
Oh, Drew.
It's late. What time? Or what
He
team?
is an NL East player, though.
NL East.
Give me the team. Just give me.
He's a Met.
Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso.
That's what I was gonna say.
Well, there you
That
go.
was- that
right
was
on the
where
tip
you were
of,
going.
Intern Jake's tongue.
I knew it was something with an A.
All right. I knew it started with an S. Slippy, Samsey, Swansea, Samson. I knew it started with an S, though.
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
All right. Let's get it tubular.
Okay, everybody, it's going to be quick today.
What was the main focus today, Coach?
Fundamentals, ball control, it's always huge.
Any early thoughts on the competition this year?
Well, look, this is the best of the best players in the world. It's going to be an amazing tournament.
Tournament?
Yeah, the BMW Championship at Caves Valley. What are you guys talking about? All they ever ask me about is football.
There you go. Here's what's coming up this weekend. Totally tubular. By the way, how confident are you that you could run the board if Griffin were to have diarrhea one morning?
Ooh.
And
I
really,
was ready to answer.
And really, only under those circumstances. We actually don't. That's the only circumstance by which
I do feel it coming up soon.
He still has to be here. Like we don't.
Gosh,
we have some rules. Like we have standards. He still has to show up. But
I'm pretty confident. I think I'd have to show up at like 9:30. Just to, like sit down in the chair and like look at everything again.
Okay, what if Griffin wasn't here?
If Griffin wasn't here, yeah, I'd still feel confident. Like 9:30. Just give me
feel
here.
confident as well.
Do you?
Let me look around.
Got to keep
Yeah.
that. We got to keep this in mind because Griffin's got some
Buttons,
vacation.
yeah.
Apparently, Griffin got a great contract.
Oh, okay.
Griffin gets like 6
I'm not
weeks of
allowed to go. I'm
vacation.
not allowed to go on vacation.
It's an amazing contract he got. I don't know how that works. Me, I'm like, I think I might take Juneteenth off, and they're like, no. Yeah. Griffin's got basically he's got the Howard Stern deal, more or less. It's incredible.
For July, yeah. That was John and I did talk about that.
Orioles Yankees this weekend tonight, 7:05 on Masson, Tomo Sagano, and Max Fried. It's also on MLB Network and the rest of the country tonight. Tomorrow, 1:05, Zach Eflin and Clark Schmidt. That is also the free game on MLB TV nationally. And if you happen to live in Detroit or Tampa, it's on MLB Network. And Sunday, 11:35 a.m., it's on Roku and we don't even know who's calling
Orioles
the game.
and pancakes.
Yeah, Dean Kramer and Will Warren, the pitching matchup there. Nothing else really for tonight. Tomorrow,
PFL, obviously, PFL playoffs.
Yeah, I think tonight was going to be Game 7 in the Stanley Cup if it had gone 7. So I think that was why they kind of blocked it off. Tomorrow, what else?
said
is going
we'll go
on?
up against
Yeah, ESPN2 for Cannons Whipsnakes, 7 o'clock. ESPN is Atlas Water Dogs at Homewood Field at 4 o'clock. Game 1 of the College World Series final tomorrow, 7 o'clock on ESPN, LSU and Coastal Carolina. And then Sunday. ESPN Plus for Chaos Whipsnakes at 2:30. ABC's got Archers Outlaws at noon. And then ABC has Game 2 of the College World Series final. Remember, it's best of 3, so it could wrap up Sunday afternoon. LSU and Coastal Carolina. And then they got...
So it starts at 4?
No, 2:30 for
2:30.
Game 2.
Okay.
And then they've got Game 7 of the NBA Finals, of course, at 8 o'clock for Pacers Thunder on ABC. Not at 8:30. Sunday night game, 8 o'clock. And then CBS for the Big 3 on Sunday. Apparently that starts at 1 and then shifts to Vice later in the afternoon. So the first couple of games are on CBS and then the rest are on Vice. Gold Cup Sunday night on Fox, U.S. and Haiti at 7 o'clock, but it don't matter. The U.S. is already on to the knockout round. And everything else you can find at GlennClarkRadio.com. Non-sports.
There's really not a whole lot. The Minecraft movie, a Minecraft movie, is streaming on HBO Max now.
Yes. So it's a different movie?
No, this is the...
That's what they called it.
Okay. It's a Minecraft movie.
All right.
And then
apparently Captain America is streaming now. When did that happen?
That was like 2 weeks ago.
I totally missed that somehow. I don't know.
Well, maybe we were running late and
maybe, and I was forced
we
you
have
through
to
it.
get out of here.
My kids were watching it yesterday. I'm like, I haven't even seen it yet. What the hell? They're like, well, sit down and watch it. I'm like, no, you already started it. I can't do that. It's nonsense.
The old Red Hawk. Kids' Choice Awards on Nickelodeon tomorrow night.
How many nominations did we have this year?
I'm not sure. It's hosted by Tyla, of course.
Ah, yes. You know Tyla from the Kids' Choice Awards, where she's the host.
Exactly.
That's
Apparently, she's a South African singer and songwriter. I don't know how she got this.
I believe you. She seems great.
That's it. There's nothing else.
That's it.
There's nothing else.
Oh, that is rough.
No non-sports. But it is a big sports weekend.
That is rough. That is true. There's a lot going on.
So you watch a Minecraft movie tonight, and then
I'll probably watch the Orioles tonight.
And then the Minecraft movie.
Yes, thank you.
And then a Minecraft movie.
Oh, my God, my kids. They'll probably watch it 27 times.
It never gets old.
Oh, I think camp season starts next week.
They're like trash the living room during the chicken jockey scenes.
My God. They were when we saw it like 2 weeks after it came out, so like we were the only people in the theater except for there was like one family like 3 rows in front of us. And so like somehow my older son knew that it was coming up and like knew that it's what people did. I don't know how. I don't know where he gets that information.
Film.
Yeah.
So he screamed it the whole thing, and like the family that was 3 rows in front of us, like they were ready to kick us out of the movie theater. They were ready to call security.
Get some dirty looks.
Like it was like a white woman seeing a black person in public. Like she was ready to get on that phone and call the cop.
It's a hell of an analogy.
Yeah. Like stern. Like she looked like a Kate from John and Kate Plus 8. Like,
I mean, like God forbid a kid just enjoys the chicken jockey scene.
But clearly, she had no idea. My 10-year-old, he was loaded up, man.
Yeah, you gotta be.
He like knew when it was coming. I'm like, how you haven't seen this movie? How do you know?
Oh,
I could see
know
him
when it's coming.
like he had jumped out of the chair,
Yeah.
and was like ready to explode. And like my younger son and I were like laid back, like hanging out, like in the reclining chairs. I think he was actually cuddling with me because it was cold. My younger son, like I think we were sharing a reclining chair, and my older son was just like,
Yeah, I mean, wow, that's what I do at the movies too.
Alex, thank you for all your hard work.
Yep.
Appreciate
Galveston.
you. There. That was
Good
not
Galveston.
the time. We were gonna still do that.
Oh, shoot, my bad.
Appreciate
Pretend I
you.
didn't.
Thanks today to Stan. Thanks to DaJuan Summers, to TJ Malone, and also to Trevor May. We'll get it all up in the greatest hits section of the
Galveston.
Tap It.
I'm not even going to send them to Cancun. The dirty water washing up on the shoal.
Thank you.
Can't even get in.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Maryland 5-Star, Game Day Men's Health, Live Casino and Hotel, BMW Championship Crown Trophy, Easy Pass, Baltimore's Classic 5 Golf Courses, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, the Costa Sin, Maryland Sports, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Thanks to Alex.
What about the big old women in San Antonio?
Do love the big old women in San Antonio. At Alex Wilson _ Have a great weekend. Go Birds, go Whipsnakes.
Can I say it? Duke sucks.